Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hardly Heroes. How are we doing today, everybody?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling good. It's been a long time since we played Hardly Heroes. I've had some time to sit back, chill, relax, and think about it. And I've come to the conclusion that, you know what? Pigeon would give a fuck about this magic item. However, I stand by what I said before. Dog shit magic item. If you throw it and it's fucking lost, it's shit. And me as a player don't really like it, don't care about it. But Pigeon does. So god damn it, we're gonna get this magic item back.
But we did just talk about what the magic item does just outside
That's
a
true.
game. Is it
And-
still a dog shit item?
No, it's not. So we are going to share that. Then I'll tell you, it's not a dog shit item, but I thought it was. Apparently, this dagger is actually really awesome. And I wanted everybody to know, we had talked about it before, and I was like, you know what? Pigeon cares. We're going to get the dagger. And then Neil was like, well, do you want to know about it? And I was like, yeah, sure. It doesn't matter. We're getting it no matter what. So even if it is dog shit, who cares? What the magic item does, if I recall correctly, is you can throw it from 180 feet, which is yards or feet?
Feet.
180 feet. And then it does double damage on a hit. So if you throw it and you get a crit, you'll do 4 times. You'll do 4d4 damage instead of just the regular 2d4. And it also applies the magical bonus, which we don't have the answer of exactly what it is yet, but Nick and I are estimating between a +2 and a +4. I'm thinking +3. So it's a good item. And it can also be used not in the throwing capacity. You can just use it as a +2 or 3 dagger. Very good item.
Yeah.
The thing to remember about the +2 dagger is that it's on average dagger does 2.5 damage. If it's +2, it does 4.5 damage, which is the same as a longsword.
Yeah.
So it's
And
basically a longsword with +2 to hit.
Yeah.
Which
The
you're
damage
using in a one hand. Like
bonus
a thief.
applies to your assassinate, Nick?
Yeah, in fact, I think it gets multiplied up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's not bad.
No, it's good.
But we made the decision to go back for it before I told you all this information.
Yes.
Okay.
It was wild to say that we wouldn't go back for it because let's just, since Jan's not here, let's just recap what happened. We go into the fancy inn. All right, maybe that's my bad for trying to ask the person to take us to the fanciest inn. That guy was incredibly belligerent. He was incredibly rude. You know, he tried to kill me while I was not drawing my blade. And then we got kicked out of the inn. And then he stole our magic item. I mean, we're just not expecting this level of disrespect. There's also the thing which I would like this guy to understand in his dying moments is that I have more money than you piece of shit. You are dirt on my show. Shit,
but you
I'm
know,
gonna stamp you into
the
dirt and
moneyed
kill you.
classes have always had more money than the landed classes, and yet the landed classes have always, held themselves a little bit higher. It's the class war that is never ending. This guy probably went to Eton. He's a real piece of shit.
He did go to Eton, and he's got, I'm asset rich, I'm income poor. This shit's still going on in modern day, right? Farmers have an inheritance tax break. Farmers don't pay inheritance tax. They're changing it now so that they're going to have to pay inheritance tax, but only half the normal rate of inheritance tax. And instead of kicking in at like £700,000, it only kicks in at £3 million. And instead of having to pay it immediately, they've got 10 years to pay it. And these motherfuckers are swarming the streets of London in protest that they're having to pay some inheritance tax.
So if it's less than 3 million, they don't have to pay it?
They don't have to pay anything, yeah. And even if it's more than 3 million, they only have to pay 20% on the bit that's above 3 million.
Are
and
they
they've got
taking
10 years
into
to pay
consideration the land or just like...
Yeah, the land value.
The land too.
But the funny thing is, the
I'm
value
not
of the
for that,
land is
I'll be honest.
expensive. The value of the land is expensive, but it's expensive because people are buying it to dodge inheritance tax. Like if you're really rich,
If you're not
you
working
buy
the
farmland.
land, if the land isn't being worked and isn't...
Oh, it has to be worked as a farm, but I mean, it's not too expensive to pay someone lease it to farmers. Anyway,
I don't know.
I'm just saying,
we'll
the
save that
landed
for a
gentry,
pre-show.
fuck them.
Because I think I'm on the other side of that. So let's get into it. We'll save it for a pre-show.
All right.
They'll fuck this guy. That's what I'm saying.
This guy, right? Did we get his name?
I'm sure we did, but
Did we?
as we talked about. I think he did because he was like,
I
thought he came up and introduced himself as, I'm so and so. Like, who are you?
He probably did, to be fair.
Like, I don't remember. I'll be
I
honest.
know, it's been so long since we played.
But that seems like not only a Koibu thing, but also like a Lord thing of like, oh, and who are you? I'm so and so. You don't have a last name.
Yeah.
Well, mine is this.
Thing is, though, He's so uniquely unimportant to me that I don't care what his name is.
I don't think his name matters either. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Because in about 3 weeks, no one's going to remember this guy's name.
Luther, I don't think we should kill the guy because that's going to cause a whole fucking mess of shit. I think we should just follow him home, break into his house, take our shit, maybe take some of his shit, and leave him alone. If we kill him, everybody's going to be looking for us.
Well, the thing, are we doing this now and then doing the
yeah, we need to get my shit back, man. The guy fucking robbed me.
Okay, well, maybe we shouldn't kill him then if we got it. But I was thinking, if we did it on the way out.
Well, if you want to kill him on the way out, we go
we
back
could just
after
we could shank him and then. Yeah,
right,
we could maybe.
Let's go to his house. Let's get our shit back. I can pick any lock.
Well, we both know that, you're less assuming than me. So why don't I go and take our guide here? Neil, remind me the name of the guide. It's on my notes.
Hold on, that might be on our sheets.
That's got Angelica.
Yes.
Let me take Angelica. I'm gonna go find us another tavern. I'll get us set up.
Wait, Angelica, she's in the last city, right? You left your 2 bodyguards and the girl.
No,
Angelica
she's with us.
She was one of the issues of when we were in the tavern. Is she was the one who actually looked super shitty that people were actually mad about. Is that we had like this girl who looks like she just came out of the gutters.
Yep, remembering. Okay, coming back to me now. It's been a long time since we played. It's been like a month.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Angelica and go and find us an inn, get her cleaned up, make her look a bit more
watch these
respectful.
bastards. I'm gonna find them.
Yeah, and you find out where this guy lives.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't
and
do
if
anything.
If I see a moment, if you hit him alone, I might just get him.
Well.
Wait. So this conversation is being had back at the first inn that you went to, right?
No, I think this is being had on the street. I think
as you're walking,
just as we got kicked out.
Yeah. Okay. So you've just been kicked out. You're walking through the city having this conversation.
Yeah.
Quiet. We're gonna split up. As he goes to walk away, I call him back and I say, "Pigeon, don't do anything stupid."
All right.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go to a mid-range tavern, Neil, with Angelica. Get us, I think, probably just one room. If we can get one room with 2 beds, that's probably fine.
Yeah. And then, there are not a lot of inns and taverns in Fortune, so you will find one that meets your standards. The lower and mid-range ones are all sort of at the edge of the city, like near the gates. The nice ones are a little bit closer to the heartland. So you're back out near the gates with Angelica. You'll get a place. They have the only room available is either 1 bed or 3 beds. So you'll have to get a 3-bed place.
The 3-bedroom's fine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I will chat with Angelica while not in a weird way.
Yeah.
I assume she has to get cleaned up in the room. I would like her to get a wash and not look like a piece of shit.
Yeah, you want to take her to the city baths?
Okay, yeah, if that's what we have to do.
Yeah, because there's no showers, there's no running water. Yeah.
I thought maybe just a bucket or something. I wasn't sure.
No, city baths. That's how we clean ourselves in the olden days.
Okay, so I think we go and drop our stuff off, and then we'll go and get a bath together, and then I'd like to have a conversation with her on the way back.
Okay. And MrMouton, you said you want to get on the rooftops?
I want to get in I want to get in the best place where I have the least chance of getting noticed by these people, wherever I think that would be. I don't have a map. I can't see it. So I'm thinking of what I would think would be like, okay, if it's kind of nearest to nighttime, I could probably get on the rooftop near a chimney, put myself on the back of it and just kind of watch that area. If there's a dark alley, I could be in that, just something to be able to watch the door, because there's only one way in and out is what was, I think, said last episode.
Yeah.
It seemed like. So yeah, wherever I can watch that.
So you head back after separating from Luther. Luther's going off to get Angelica all cleaned up and find a place to stay. And as you head back to the tavern, just to get an eye on it and assess where a good place to hide is, you can see the injured parties gathering sort of in the atrium in that little open garden ahead of the place, and they're talking pretty emphatically amongst themselves. And
can I get a lip reading check?
Yeah, let me double check the skill real quick, because you're at a pretty good range. You're at max distance, so I don't know if there are penalties for distances. There probably should be.
34.
Oh my god.
That's
well,
19, yeah.
We'll see what the penalties are, but they're probably not that significant. Lip. Oh, where is lip reading? Oh, it's probably reading lips. That's what it is, I bet. Yeah. You must be within 30 feet of the speaker and able to see him clearly. Yeah, so I think you're probably just too great of a range to like notice the little lip movements. You're like, down the block a little bit.
Far. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you can see is that these people, not just the people who are involved in the fray, but some of the other patrons from the area have come out and they're all talking, and the proprietor's there. And you can see that one of the servants, or the employees, whatever you want to call them, of this inn tavern, is getting dispatched. Like there's clear gesturing of her towards her. And she will give a bow or like a little curtsy a few times, and then hurries out the garden and out the gate and starts going
like
down.
A note or anything?
No note was handed to her. Probably just verbal instructions. And she takes a right and heads in the same direction that you are. You're like, down the street a little bit, kind of standing near a large hedge, just like peering around it a little creepy like. And you can see her starting to come down the street in your direction.
Okay. I'm gonna.
So, are you gonna follow
Where
her, or
can
are you gonna
you-
watch the thing that's going on?
How far is she? Are we in like an alley? Where are we at?
No. This is the main. This is a road. There's buildings on either side. There's some decorative hedges in front of yards. That one place, had the little wrought iron fence with a little garden out front. That's sort of like
I'll
a
call her
typical
over.
thing of the area. You're gonna
I'll
call out to
over and
her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when she like comes by, I'm gonna get into like a position where she can like walk kind of by me,
Yeah, totally.
and I'll like whisper over 20 platinum if you have a conversation with me. And I jingle coins.
20 platinum? Holy shit. She pauses and looks
a
at
wild
you,
sum of
and you
money.
can see like the fear and uncertainty in her eyes as she stops and looks at you.
I will open I'll pull my bag off of my pouch because the platinum is on my pouch, and I'll open it, and she will see a bag of 50 platinum. Like it's just platinum coins. And then I'll
She
tie my
looks
little bag up.
cautiously back where she came from, and then hurries to the bush where you are and like steps close enough that like she can't be seen from down the street. And then she dips her head.
What are they sending you to do?
I'm to get the city watch, my lord, and tell them, no offense, but that there are 3 dirty peasants that need to be run out of town.
Did they give you a description?
Yes?
Okay, can you describe someone else? You describe someone else, and you buy us some time. I'll give you 40 platinum. Probably enough, more money than you make in a year.
I can buy you time, my lord.
And a false description.
The city watch will want to come and speak with my masters. If I give them a false description, they'll beat me. But I can get lost. The city watch could be busy. I can delay them.
Busy. And what's that guy's name, and where does he live? And I'll describe the guy that I, got in a fight with.
You're not gonna hurt him, are you?
No, he just has something of mine that I want back. That's honest.
She doesn't know. You're being honest. You're not intending on hurting him.
I'm truly not intending on hurting him.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to need she is suspicious of you. But you're being honest. So I need you to make me a charisma check, and I'll have her make a charisma check, and we'll see how
26.
she
All right,
feels
good.
about this. Her charisma is
That's
not
the dump stat.
bad. 13. You got a 26. She gets a 29. So you're telling the truth, and she is suspicious. You pass and they pass higher than you. She believes you. Okay. His name is Lord Rye. He doesn't live in town. He lives outside of town, in 2 villages over, along the River Crux. He's here for a few days attending. There's a ball happening at the castle, and he's attending the ball. He'll be staying in the inn. His companion is out getting dressed right now, and he's here with his other friends, who you met earlier.
So I'll give you 2 options here. I'm going to give you the 40 platinum no matter what. But if you either A, get me in to the inn tonight so I can get my item back, or B, get the item back from me, I will reward you with a gemstone worth 500 gold.
What the fuck?
And I'll show her the gemstone.
What item is it that you... what is it that I need?
I'll describe the dagger, and this is my father's dagger. Give her a sob story on how my dad died.
Mm-hmm.
And I really want it back. I tried to impress upon the man that I wanted my item back, but he instead, had too much pride. I'm not sure. Again, money is no object for me and my friend, as you can see.
Kind of lifts her gaze. She's been looking sort of down, in a deferential way, but kind of meets your gaze as you're talking about all this money and all these things. And, she's risking her life to do any of these things for you. And she looks at you and goes, "Who are you?"
I'll smile wryly. I'm a prince from a far-off land.
She's suspicious. She fails her check. Give me a charisma check.
Come on. Let's go. 6 charisma, 7 charisma.
Ooh,
not too bad.
She's not sure about this, but it definitely doesn't sound true. Prince from a far-off land, huh?
I'll
she
play
looks
it off
at you.
as kind of a joke. I'm a man.
Do you have a name, my lord?
I do. And you know what? I trust you enough not to fuck me over. My name's Pigeon. I'm from Stromheim, and I'm a part of an organization, and we're here on some business. Now that business has obviously been halted a little bit, and I'm just trying to get it back on track and cause as few problems as possible.
Of course.
As I've said, money is really no object for me, and I don't mind making your existence infinitely better. I'm sure you and your family can use this 500 gold gem more than I could ever. So I don't mind making this deal. But I do want my possession. I like my things. Just as you might like a childhood blanket. I like my childhood dagger. And I would like it back. And I don't want there to be bloodshed. But if it comes down to it, I could have my organization here and have this entire city razed. Do I want to do this? No. But I would like my thing back. And I'm willing to pay handsomely.
Yes, of course, my lord. There is a cellar door to the inn that's locked from the inside. I can I can unlock it for you this evening, near the witching hour after everyone's gone to bed, and let you in through the cellar.
And the guard on duty stays outside, in front?
Yes, my lord. The cellar door is unguarded from the outside because there's also an inner door that is barred. But I can.
And you'll leave that unlocked as well.
I will see to it that it's unlocked. If you try the cellar door and it isn't opened yet, just try again a little later. I have to wait until no one's watching.
Okay.
room's he in?
I appreciate it. I'll hand her the bag. I'll take out 10 platinum and put it into my pocket, and I will place the 40 gold, 40 platinum into her hands and say, "I'm trusting you, and I know your face."
Of course,
What
Lord
room's the guy
Pigeon.
in?
I nod.
He gives
And
you
I'll
a
go and find Luther.
curtsy and hurries off.
Wait, you didn't ask what room he was in.
Ooh. Hold on. Throwing in checkout there. 22. I call, "Hey, wait."
She, she stops and turns back at you. Remember, it's not quite nighttime. There's
Yeah.
other people around. But it's not uncommon to call back, a person or call out to someone.
100%.
I just want to make sure that we're aware that this is not like
Yeah.
a quiet blah, blah, blah. Yeah, yeah. She looks at you and scampers back.
What room is he in?
She thinks for a moment.
When you find out, put something by the door that'll denote it.
I will, I'll leave in a cup turned upside down out front of his door.
Thank you. And I go off to find Luther.
Nice. That was the most reserved and intelligent thing I think Pigeon's done.
And we're not going to give her the gemstone either, Nick.
Oh,
We might. We'll see.
Hey, you can't give her a 500 gold gemstone.
We're criminals,
That's
we're
insane.
bad guys.
Yeah, fuck
She
that.
got 40 platinum. She'll be all right. She's doing a bad thing, and she's going to be like,
How
well,
much- Platinum's 5 gold, is it, or 10?
2?
2
Oh.
to 1. 2 to 1.
Okay. I feel
She got 80
better
gold
about
so
that
far.
now. Yeah. She's fine. Just give her the wrong gemstone.
I did give her my name, so I
do,
might
we not,
actually.
do we not have a smaller gemstone we can give her?
Yeah, we do somewhere.
Like, we just give her a shitty gemstone instead.
Yeah.
She's no. It's a shit. I give her a marble instead.
All right. I go to find
Okay,
Luther and
well-
inform him of what happened.
I assume the bath is split by gender, is it, Neil?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I catch Anastasia. What's that her name?
Angelica.
I catch Angelica as well leaving the bathhouse. How does she look? I'm expecting a rom-com moment. She comes out, hair, all of a sudden she's a 9 out of 10.
No, I'm so sorry. She comes out, she's cleaned up. Her clothes are still kind of dirty, but the face is a little bit cleaner. Everything's just. She's still the grimy little girl, but not as dirty. But she's still got the personality. Do you ever see Aliens? I think we talked about this last time.
Yes.
She's Newt, essentially.
Yeah.
But
Newt's a child, though.
Newt's a child. This girl's a little bit older. This is Newt in 5 years or 10 years or something. But she's still got that beaten down, grimy vibe around her, even though the dirt's been cleared off her face and her hair actually has been washed for the first time, so it's not frizzled all over the place. It comes back nicely. But she's still that,
So I'm waiting for outside. I obviously I'm less dirty, so it takes me less long to get clean.
Right.
And she comes around the corner. Oh. And as she gets up to me, I say, Angelica, looking much better. But let's go and get some clothes for you.
Right.
So we go to the market and go and get some different clothes.
Yeah, it's getting late in the day. You can catch just, the last stalls before everything closes down. You can find some, something that's not too terribly dirty for a reasonable price that will just lump into your monthly spending.
Okay. Yeah. It doesn't need to be fancy or anything. Just get some
Basic
clothes.
frock that's, not full of holes.
So I assume that we're still waiting for Pigeon. I get back to the room. I kind of get us settled in. And as she sits down, if there's a chair in the... there's 3 beds. Maybe there's a chair. I pull a chair over to her, or I sit on the bed next to her. And I say, okay, Angelica, it's time we talk about what we're here for. Are you ready?
She
We've
nods.
not disclosed fully the details of the mission here. What do you know about Count Vicious? And I look over my shoulder instinctively. I know there's nobody in the room. I lower my voice. His tomb.
What tomb?
Where he's buried.
He wasn't buried, my lord. Sir?
What do you mean? What happened? Tell me what you know.
I was very young, but I've heard the story when the Drakissian knight came. He fought the previous lord.
The new count you're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He fought the previous lord, defeated him, and then took his body outside onto the. She kind of points, towards a wall, onto the top of the mesa, built a huge pyre and burned his corpse in front of everyone, so people could see the fire throughout the whole city.
Those Drakissians truly are scoundrels. That's unprecedented and offends even my base level sensibilities.
Well, there were some. He wasn't a good man. He
Well, yeah, tell me. He sieged my city. Wait, no, we don't know that. Sorry. We don't know that. I take that back. Sorry, I forget. Well, what about his he must have family here. There must have been some sort of funeral of sorts, or...
The pyre was the funeral. The only family he had was a son who was also killed and set on fire. Adult son who joined him on the end of the line. 1,000 years of Vicious's gone.
That is monumental. Why would he have so few offspring? Surely there must be cousins and aunts and uncles.
I've never heard anyone speak about them ever. I don't think so. I think it was a small family. I mean, there's always been a Count Vicious in Fortune, as far back as anyone can remember. James was the first one, and his son was James, and his son was James, and it's been father and son for 1,000 years.
Well, where are the rest of them buried?
I
James
suppose
the
they would be in the tomb under the mesa, but this the new Count Marshal went to great lengths to... She pauses like she's trying to remember something. My mother told me a story. Well, my aunt told me a story that after the fire, after the Count and his son were destroyed, there was a big ordeal where she's closing her eyes, remembering back. All of the nobles had to swear allegiance to the new Count, or they were going to be similarly put to death and burned. And the way that they did it is they went into the tomb, into there's a big crypt under the mesa for all where all the dead are interred. But they went in there, and all the nobles took out the bones of the last of the Vicious family and threw them into the river Crux, down 100 feet into the river, so that they would be washed away for all time, so that no one could ever, so that no Vicious could ever be honored or adorned. They threw the bones in the river, she says.
People are maniacs.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
What?
out of character, this is a very common thing in history, is that if you've got an enemy, like a historical enemy that you've, been annoyed with, you go and you take their bones and you throw them over. It happened over and over in Rome, where great generals who had political rivals, when they would die and the political rivals, trying to make a point about something, they would go and take their bones and toss them in the Tiberus River. That's what the Soviets did with Hitler's bones. Yeah, tossing remains into rivers is a time-honored tradition and a way of being this person and his entire line is gone forever. It's classic history.
So I leaned back in the chair. Previously, I was hunched forward, and I sort of look befuddled in thought.
Why were you here to raid his tomb? This is common knowledge here.
Well, that's the lead I got.
Well, whoever gave you that lead is either stupid or lying to you. You didn't check beforehand?
I'm checking now, aren't I? What
She
do you mean?
remembers her place and goes quiet again.
Give me that. Listen, there's more to this. There's more context as to why I'm here. I don't want to give away who my sources are, but let's say that we don't necessarily see eye to eye.
She nods.
If this is true, then this person who's told me this is full of shit and doesn't know what they're talking about. And either has sent me here to die or, more likely, on a fool's errand.
The guardians of the tomb are pretty impressive warriors. This person's not your friend. They might have...
Guardians meaning what? Knights?
She nods. There's an
There's gotta
honor
be
guard
loads of
out front of
ways
the tomb. There's one huge door, or set of doors. There might be other ways in. I wouldn't know anything about those. If they are, they're very secret. But there's a pair of knights along with their henchmen that watch over the tomb. It's a sacred space in Fortune. It's the only, there's temples, but like, it's one tomb where everyone in the city who's ever died here has been buried for 1,000 years.
Well, they must have to open that door every other day then if they're burying everyone in there.
She nods. Of course.
Is there like, do they wait and gather up a few bodies, or do they open it every time someone dies?
The priests bring people in. You hold funeral ceremonies in the temples, and then the priests will bring the bodies along with the next of kin in. And special
like
dispensation can be given for special circumstances, but you have to get permission first. Bureaucracy and all that, she says as a kid, not really understanding what that means.
In theory, though, if you were a relative of someone, you could get down there.
In theory, yeah.
You want
But
to
you
pay your
gotta-
respects.
Yeah, but like in theory, I could be a queen if I married a prince. Right?
Uh-huh.
Like
Sure,
you gotta get permission from the priest. He's gotta sign off on it, and then I've never had to do this before, but I remember people talking about it. I remember people talking about it's one of those. It's one of those things that like anyone can do, but like really only the highborns get to do. Like anyone can own land, but like all the land is owned by the nobility. Right? So anyone can go and visit, but like, you got to know someone or something.
But if you found a secret way in, though, there's no guards inside. It's just empty crypt.
She shrugs. I suppose. I've never been in.
You think it's like that crypt in that temple that we stayed in on the way out down here?
I don't know who would
Once
just
in the
hang
night.
out in a crypt. That seems weird.
Well, yeah, but you were pretty confident there was something nasty down there in the basement of that crypt, out in the woods.
The plains are a spiritual place. The winds blow the spirits around, and things don't always rest as they should. There's magic in the wind. That's what my aunt would say. She'd say that there's magic in the wind, and it moves people. On windy nights, sometimes they get up. Not so much anymore. Not so much since the change, but
What do you mean? You mean since change
There was
count?
she shakes her head. There was You might not have been around for it, but there was a day years ago, a few years ago, where a great wind came out of the east and the sun shone more brightly for a while. And since then, the restless spirits are limited to the night. You know, once upon a time when I was very, very young, sometimes the winds would blow in the day and old bones would walk the land. But now no longer. Now only at night.
All right. Well, thanks. I need to speak to Pigeon. I'm sure we're not doing anything else tonight, so feel free to get some rest.
Why do you need the previous count's tomb?
I don't know how much you'd even want me to share with you. I mean, where do your allegiances lie?
I'm out for myself. Just like you.
Good. That's what I like to fucking hear.
I would like to assess whether I believe her or not.
Excellent. Give me a charisma check.
Three plus 15 though. So an 18. Fail.
Your pluses don't matter.
You know, you're not really sure about that statement. She's pretty young. She's making, you know. Yeah, you're unsure.
I think what it is that I'm not used to dealing with people like her. Most of the people that Luther deals with are more brash. They're kind of like, you know, they're bragging a lot. They're kind of like, you know, overt personalities, where she's kind of not the kind of person that runs in Luther's circle. So he's not used to, doesn't know how to read her.
Yeah.
But I'll make a call that I think I can trust her at least with this information. I say, okay, well, I don't know how much you know about Stromheim, but there's a dwarf over there called Angus Smelter. You heard of him?
He's a copperhead, one of the 4 big copperheads. Right. Yeah, I know. I know Smelter.
Well, me and Pigeon, we're good friends with 4 other guys. You know, we're kind of a crew.
Steel Team
Angus
6.
Yeah. Steel Team 6, yeah. Well, Angus has, he's an untrustworthy lion, backtracking, dirty piece of shit, untrustworthy dwarf. He brought us to his temple on good pretenses. We were meant to be negotiating. And then he springs an ambush on us, captured my friends, and sent me and Pigeon to go and loot Count Vicious's tomb, and said, if we bring back what's there, he'll let our friends go.
You're in the tavern, you know, having some food. Pigeon walks in the door.
I thought we were in a room.
Oh, well, never mind. You're still in the room then.
Yeah.
You're in the room still then.
Yeah.
Well, Pigeon she kind of snorts. Pigeon can come back now. You find the place. You can walk in the room now. She sees Pigeon come in, gives him a little bit of wave.
Before she gets a chance to call me stupid, I say, I figured he was just sending us to our death, but I thought if we at least come out here, make it look like we're taking it seriously, he might stay his hand for a while.
Luther.
Oh. Pigeon. You're here.
We got to change up our looks. The guards are going to be looking for us.
What do you mean? What happened? What did I tell you? Pigeon, I told you not to do anything stupid.
I explained to him what I did. So we cut back all of that. I kind of like give him the gist and explain it.
That's actually really smart.
Yeah, it was a pretty good idea, right?
You know what? You're learning, Pigeon.
I'm learning
I like to see it. Yeah. You know what? I could tell you've been paying more attention recently. I give a look over to Angelica, like, look how well I'm raising him. You know.
Yeah, good. So I bought us some time so we can maybe change up our look a good bit in here, so that we're harder to spot by the guards, and we can go get our dagger back. But also, he lives outside the city. We could follow him home and just have the pick of the litter, and then go to his house and steal from there too.
Didn't you say that he's in town for a few days? We could rob him tonight, and then we could head out to his mansion before he's even at home. Most of his guard are going to be here with him in the city.
Exactly.
And here's the thing, you see, I just got done talking to Angelica. Apparently this Count Vicious guy was burnt to a crisp in the middle of the city along with his son, and he doesn't even have any relatives. There's not even a tomb to loot.
So that dumbass doesn't even know anything about it. We can just pawn whatever this guy's got off as his.
That's what I'm saying. We rob this house. We get our dagger back. We give some of the loot to Angus. We get our friends back.
Are you in, Angelica?
Depends on what it is.
Robbing, looting, stealing.
Yeah. But what do you need exactly? She says, like narrowing her gaze and taking this very seriously. Like it's, you know, the most important thing in the world to her. She's been like offered a job and she's got to make sure it's a good one.
I need you to come up and stay in this room and just wait for me and Luther to get back and then we'll figure the rest out, right? Right, Luther?
Well, well, maybe we'll need a lookout at some point. Yeah. You know, there you go. We might need a lookout. And also,
you're a good cover story too.
Like, you know, we're going to need
a noble girl, you know?
We'll need like food and stuff.
Yeah, you could cook.
Or like go to get a kebab or something, you know? Do they have
you want me to be a gopher?
Well, I'm going to ask, what skills do you have?
Pretty fast on my foot? No, there's no kebabs here. I'm sorry. You don't have a nice international cuisine. This place is basically just cabbage and onions and, you know, like rabbit. That's pretty much everything that you eat here.
This whole city smells like cabbage. Now, it makes sense now. I was wondering what it was, but it's cabbage. That's what it is.
Yeah. I guess cabbage and Brussels sprouts and anything that comes from that plant, which is like, you know,
brassicas.
7 things. Brassicas, thank you.
It smells like brassicas, which is a word Luther does not know. I go and close the window to keep the smell out at this moment.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so for now, stay here. We got a thing to go and do, and then we'll be leaving pretty much right after. And then when we get there, we need to look out. You're a good disguise, you know, you're a noble girl. So start practicing your noble accent.
Well, actually, that's
one
thing.
Governor.
Exactly.
Maybe you can get the horses ready. So we're, are we able to leave the city at night, or do they lock the gates?
They lock the gates.
So we're going to leave in the morning.
Okay. We'll leave in the morning then.
And
well, wait, where are we going tonight then?
You're staying here. Me and him are going to go and get my shit back.
We're going back to that inn.
Didn't you say that she bought you some time, but like they're still going to come, right?
Yeah, but we're going to do it tonight and then we're going to leave. They don't know where we are.
They don't know where we are.
Well, they'll find you. It's not that big of a city.
We're going to get a disguise on.
There's no time. We're doing it. The sun's already setting. I mean, it's go time in a few hours. You think the guards are going to come tonight?
Well, maybe she's right. Maybe she shouldn't be in this inn room because it's attached to our names. Maybe we bring her along.
Well, if they said that they were gonna to drive you out of the city, I mean,
that's actually good for us, Luther.
Why is that?
That's how they get rid of the undesirables. You know, you make them go out into the plains at night. It's not a death sentence, but it can be.
All right. Well, you come with. Let's bring her with us, Luther. She can just hang out in an alley while we do our thing.
Okay.
And then we can, you know, get out in the morning, and if they drive us out tonight, we'll be fine.
But our horses and stuff.
She can watch the horses.
In the alley?
We can come back for the horses. They're not going to seize them.
She looks at you like, are you sure?
I mean, they're just horses, right?
Wait, how are we suspecting that they're going to find us?
Your name is attached to this room.
Well, I didn't give our real name.
Oh, well then, I got a shrug.
We glossed over that, but I wouldn't give my real name. I mean, they don't know my name for one.
They would ask, you know, who are you? You could give a fake name. I don't know if you necessarily would.
Well, I'm saying that, but the guards don't know my name.
No. But, you know, a good description and a little bit of, what do you call it? Social.
No Fourth Amendment?
Yeah, a little bit of no Fourth Amendment and a
Yeah.
little bit of just like, hey, these guys left this place. Let's go talk to the people like on that route and just go block by block. Did you see anyone?
They gotta say somewhere.
Yeah, it would take a while. They might find you tonight. They might not find you tonight. You are travelers from afar, so searching all the inns and then just being like, hey, did you see people who met this description? 3 people, two men, a little girl with your
Technically, it
various
was only 2 men
complexions,
originally.
big bulging eyes. You know,
I came in after. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But I hear you. I hear you.
It'd be
Yeah.
a problem, but it's not an impossible problem, especially with so few inns. If you don't have an inn, if you're just like in the streets, or you break into a person's house or something, they probably won't be able to find you. But in this inn, they will find you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right.
Yeah.
I think it would be unreasonable. Like, they're looking for us. They're not looking for our fucking horses, I think that would be unreasonable if they like seized our horses. I say we just leave the horses here. We leave this inn. We go out into the streets and we rough it for the night and we go do our thing. And then we can come back in the morning and get our horses and get the fuck out. If the horses were there for 3 days, then someone might ask a question or two of like, whose fucking horses are these?
Yeah, but like when you bring your horses in,
It's attached to our description.
it's attached to your whatever name you give and your description.
Okay.
It's your property.
Here's what we do then.
Yeah.
We go and scope out the place and wait for the door to be unlocked. We get Angelica to take our horses with some gold to another inn and say, can we just leave our horses here for the night?
Yep.
Mm.
And that way they've never seen me and Pigeon.
Right.
I'm
in
gonna
that other inn.
Now,
take off the gold.
You characters, you players live in the modern world. Your characters live in the ancient world, and so your characters know a little bit more about this than maybe we would.
Yeah.
If you're going building to building, being like, "Hey, have you seen these people? I'm an official town guard. I have the right to ask these questions." Innkeepers are generally going to shopkeepers. All the good citizens are generally going to try and comply as much as possible because you don't want trouble. It's easier just to comply. So if they say, we're looking for these 2 guys and this girl, have you seen them? Are they here?
Just pay the shopkeeper off. Yeah.
They might be able to find you that way. They might say like, they're not here, but I have seen them. It's possible. There's no way to know for certain. It's possible that if the description of the girl is good enough and the innkeeper is sharp enough that he might recognize the girl. You've cleaned her up and given her some new clothes, so probably not. But it's not like just parking your car in a parking lot and walking away. Like there's a face-to-face recognition.
Yeah.
Part of being an innkeeper is being able to identify your patrons and their stuff so that you can manage all of these things appropriately. These are soft skills that is needed in this area.
I think between the fact, I just think the other thing is that the sun's already setting. They need to go and speak to the Lord guy. The girl's buying us some time. I think they're not exactly going to be able to go door to door to find out where we are in the middle of the night because people will be asleep and stuff. So I think
let's pay the innkeeper off. Let's give him 10 gold not to know, and we'll not cause any trouble. We'll be out in the morning.
The innkeeper here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go and do that now.
All right. So we're getting up to leave. The girl's coming with us. We'll leave our horses here. But we're going to give him 10 gold not to fucking...
I go downstairs and go up to the desk. Can I find the innkeeper or do I find like a lackey?
No, you find the innkeeper. It's a skill position. Innkeepers never leave. They never travel. They run the whole thing the whole time. They might have a lackey that do a couple of things, but like this is their entire life is this building.
I remember his name from when I met him.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, totally. His name is Jimbo.
I come up to the desk. Low voice, Jimbo. Good to see you. Listen,
Pleasure to see you again, sir.
I know we paid up for the room, but there's been a change of plan.
Of course, sir.
We need to leave. I don't want a refund or anything like that. It's nothing to do with the room. The room's great. Service, fantastic.
I see.
Thing is, though, I need to leave, but I need to leave as in a way that I've never been here, if you catch my drift. And then
What do you mean, my lord?
I'm saying that if anyone comes asking, I wasn't here.
Who might come asking for you? He says, all of a sudden concerned for his property.
There's a lot of prejudice in this town.
Certainly.
You know? Yeah, I might have rubbed some people up the wrong way. Some
local street dwellers, perhaps?
No. Like the guards, you know. I didn't do anything to the guards, but if it might be the guards. Come looking, you know. I'm going to leave in the morning, so you don't need to worry about it. Fortune's not for me.
I don't want no trouble with the law, sir.
Neither do I. And then I slide the coins and I put my hand over his, but with the coins underneath my hand, and then I take my hand away.
How many do you put?
I'm not as stupid as Pigeon, but I will give this guy. Can't bear to pass with platinum, so I give him 10 gold. How much was the room for the night?
Probably like a gold total.
Yeah, so I need 10 gold. That's 10 times the room rate.
10 times the room rate to lie to the guards for a foreigner in a town with a lot of prejudice. He examines the coins and he looks up at you. What sort of trouble?
I just got into an argument with one of the locals, and he's gone crying to the guards. And I
Just
don't
an
want any
argument with the
trouble.
locals?
That's it. Yeah, I didn't want any trouble on you, Jimbo, so I think it's just best that I was not here. I can throw in a little extra if it makes the difference.
Well, I don't want any trouble, same as you. And I have to live here in this town after you're gone, so you take your stuff and go, and it's what did you say it is? Maybe I just don't remember your face.
I get the feeling that he's uncertain. I would like to check my understanding with a charisma check. I get 27. My feeling is that if he finds out that it's an argument with a noble, he's going to renege on the deal.
Yeah, you get the impression that, like, what he said, like, if it's really just an argument with a local and you take your stuff, that's fine. But if it's like a bigger problem, then that statement won't necessarily hold true depending on the strength of the guards. You know, if they come up and
What they
say like
did.
you, yeah. He's definitely acting out of self-preservation here, not like
I go to walk
greed.
away, and then I turn back, and I say, you know, actually, given the prejudice in this town, they might lie about what happened, and I just want to make sure that you come out of this clean, Jimbo. So maybe the color of those coins was wrong.
What color are they? Gold's a very, very nice color.
Gold's a
sir.
very good color, sir.
I'll slide him another 10 platinum, and I say, I hope now that you definitely don't remember me.
You've just
30 gold.
tripled the amount of
Yeah.
money that's on the table here.
Yeah.
He looks at it and he nods a couple of times. Goes, must have been a hell of an argument.
Funny thing is, it wasn't. But this town, man, I'm leaving anyway. Listen, you only need to keep this up for a day. Come tomorrow, I'm gone, so don't worry about it.
I love being rich in D&D and just throwing money
It's a
at
pleasure.
people.
Strokes some money into his off the shelf, puts it in the till, gives you a bit of a wave.
As I'm leaving the inn here,
Mm-hmm.
I look to the like the thing where people would hang their hats and coats.
Yeah.
I want a flat. Is there a flat cap on there?
Sure.
I grab a flat cap of that. Put that on.
Steal someone's
okay.
hat.
Yeah.
I steal a woman's sun hat.
No, that's ridiculous.
I do.
I steal a flat cap. Do you know what a flat cap is?
Yeah. I'm going to need you to make me a pickpockets check or something like that. Because, you know, it's a coat rack in the middle of the common room. We need to make sure that the person who put that there isn't, you know, doesn't see you, or that someone
How do you
just
feel about a
standing
pick
around.
locks check?
No, definitely not.
I can do pickpockets. It's like my second best skill.
Yeah.
33.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, you know, you go over the coat rack, you kind of block it with your huge imposing body, you reach for something, grab the flat cap, kind of tuck it in front of you, walk away, put it on, not a problem. Mr. Moon walks over, just grabs a sun hat and walks out.
It's fucking easy, man. You're good.
And Angelica just leaves with you, right? No, she's staying to watch the horses. Yeah? Or is she coming with
she's
you?
gonna take. She's taking the horses to
No.
a different inn.
She's
Right?
keeping the horses here because he's
paid
forgotten
up
about
now.
it.
He's
paid
paid
up.
keep Angelica in her room. I say, Angelica, he's paid up. Stay in your room. We'll be back for you in about like 4 hours, and then we'll leave in the morning.
Well, I need to see if this person with that has the hat, Mr. Moon, is in the room. Because that's a 1 on your hat stealing check.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
That's
is...
like a, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm grabbing it, like, boom, on my head, and I'm walking out.
Let's see. It's evening time. There's not a lot of light left. People are most likely in their bedrooms by now. There were probably a few people hanging out in the tavern. I'm going to give you a 3 in 10 chance of her being present enough to see this. I need my D10s though. 3 in 10. Oh, wouldn't you know it's a 2. You grab the hat, you begin to step out, and all of a sudden the woman's like, hey, that's my hat.
I peek back in.
Oh. She gets up and like hurries over towards you, kind of angry at you. What are you doing with that? Huh? You some sort of hat thief?
Can I purchase it? I needed a hat. It's gonna be light out in the morning.
It's dark, and that's my hat.
2 gold?
Okay.
All right, I pull out 2 gold and I hand it to her.
She walks away without a word.
See, I fucking love being rich in D&D, Nick. I just can do whatever I want. You just
does solve a lot of
you
problems.
get money, you get money, you get money, you get money.
But don't spend all our money there, you know.
No, we have so much. We're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, a little bit of corruption, little bit of grease in the wheels. It makes things so nice, unless you're actually trying to like run a society, and then everything is falling apart.
It's easier than murdering them.
Yeah.
And it's better. For
Yeah.
them.
It is easier than murder.
I've murdered people over less than that hat situation.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
The party goes out into the streets. What's the plan?
I think we want to get
alleys.
a watch on the cellar door. We'll split up two separate places, watch it from 2 sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
Casually go up and try it.
It's getting dark. The
once
local
it
gem
goes
shop's
past
not open,
midnight.
are they?
It is dark. All businesses are closed. There's not much going on in this town anymore. You can see lights on in houses here and there, but the lights are like the fireplace that's still going to warm the area.
As we walk
we
to
are
the location, I'll say to Pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we open the door to the cellar. We go into the cellar. There's a door upstairs. She's left that open for us. The rooms, I think, are on the 2nd floor, right? 1st floor. So we head up the stairs. No guards.
She's gonna have a cup upside down.
Okay, but then what? You're gonna have to pick the lock.
Probably.
Okay, so we pick the lock, hopefully without waking him up.
Easy.
Then what?
Go in. Find my dagger. Take his shit. And we leave.
All right. I'll sneak up. We sneak in. Okay. I'll get my hand over his mouth. Knock him out. Then
I don't even think you need to do that.
He's gonna scream otherwise.
He's not gonna wake up.
What if he does though?
Then you'd be ready to knock him out.
Okay. Well, I'll watch him then. You do the looting.
I know.
Okay. And if he's got any keys on him, get them as well, because we might need them when we go back to his house.
It's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get his fucking keys. Yeah.
I don't know if would you take your keys with you? I assume that like back in the day you would have like literally a huge ring of so many keys.
But if
Like,
you were a
would you carry
lord, you wouldn't carry them. Like you'd have someone do that for you.
It'd be in
right?
his room, probably, though.
It would be in the room of his manservant, right? His butler, his attending staff would have all of his shit. Like he might not even carry cash on him. If you're a good enough lord, you probably, you carry money if you might need it, but you wouldn't have like a wallet with cash on it all the time. You walk unburdened through life.
Yeah, of course. Do inns like this have rooms for staff? Or would they stay somewhere else? Okay,
Yeah,
they'd have
a nice inn like this is going to have staff. Like I think we said, I can't remember exactly, but I think we said this was a 3-story building. And so the downstairs would be like the common area. The 2nd floor would be like for the guests, and the 3rd floor would be a series of much smaller rooms for the staff.
Okay, so we'll do the 2nd floor and then the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know, because we won't know which room to go into for the 3rd floor. I say we just do the 2nd floor. We can just pick locks at the mansion.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth
Cool.
it. I mean, if we find keys, we'll take them. But
Angelica will pipe up and be like, but remember he brought his companion with him. She was out getting a
well-
dress, you said.
Yeah, our goal
Yeah.
is to not wake anybody up.
There's going to be at least 2 people in that bedroom.
don't worry about that.
Okay. All right.
I look through
make
my
your-
shit. Just want to see what I got. Yeah, we make our way over.
Yeah. It's nighttime.
I
A full
prepare.
moon tonight.
I prepare some things to use as gags. Yeah. Get some bits of cloth. I tear some cloth off. That's about the right size if I want to shove it in someone's mouth.
You've got Angelica's old clothes that you had, so you probably
Yeah.
tore up these dirty rags back in the last area. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also cut my rope into appropriate sizes to tie these fuckers up if I need to.
Perfect tying sizes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not fucking around trying to cut the rope up.
Pan from fortune. Remember last time we were here, the city was so weird,
Yeah.
and it seems like that's completely gone.
Well, Kel Marshall has come
Yeah.
and
Same
saved
thing.
the
Fixed
city.
He did actually. I think he did. I'm on that side. I believe that he did.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, it's fucking weird. I didn't come here since so many years. Like, it was the last time I was in Fortune was.
Tombs Square,
when
right?
No, I don't think we came into
Oh
Square.
yeah, that was
That was Gnomes, Tombs,
Dice
and
Men or
Catacombs.
Gnomes, Tombs, and Catacombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in we did
that
a
one
one
shot,
shot in
yeah.
Fortune, which was great, but it was fucking weird.
It was
It was
weird,
cool.
yeah.
We were chasing a serial killer. I was a paladin and Greg was a cleric of it, and we were both of a star, and we were chasing a serial killer through the plains, and then we finally caught him in Fortune.
Kel Marshall's he's a hero.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Is he? Is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Has
we
anyone
continue on.
has anyone seen his did he light the pyre with his flaming sword, Neil?
You should have asked Angelica.
Good ask, man. You can ask on the way back.
Well, why would I ask? Because Luther doesn't know about the flaming
Yeah.
sword, you know?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Well, it sounds like she was really young when all this happened. So
It wasn't that long ago, was it? Or was it?
it's the year 1519 right now. Oh, it might actually have been that long ago. Am I getting my timelines all mixed up? When did Frofro end? These timelines even match up?
Surely.
They should.
They should.
Frozen Frontier.
There's got to be a big gap between the end of Frofro and William
Yeah.
taking Fortune.
Well, 1511 is when Frofro ended. And then Hobo. There it is. Hobo's last episode was. You got back in 1512, end of 1512, beginning of 1513. So it's been 6 years.
Okay.
So I think there was probably I can't remember the exact timeline, but I think you got back. There was maybe a year or 6 months of downtime, and then maybe 6 months of campaigning and organizing to do this. So it's probably been 7 years. I'm sorry, 5 years.
Okay.
And if we said Angelica was 14, 15 years old, so she would have been 10. For her, that's a long time.
Oh, she's 15.
Yeah,
No.
I do recall saying
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah.
I can't remember if I said
So she was
15 or 16 or 17. She's young. She's a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
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 All right, sad. Yeah, fine. So she doesn't remember. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Or maybe she
Alright,
wasn't
let's do
there
it.
or something. Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. You ready to
Yeah.
roll some dice, Nick?
I'm ready.
I want to
Yeah.
state, I am in my full leather armor for this. I put it on in the fucking alley.
You
I
you brought
don't-
your armor and everything. You put
I'm
on
not
your
wearing
leathers.
Armor. I'm not wearing armor. Having my short sword on me is fine, though, right? That doesn't impede me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got my short sword, but I'm not wearing armor.
And I want
Okay.
to state, I'm not coming in here wanting to kill these people, but if they do some crazy shit, I'm not gonna kill them because I said I wasn't gonna kill them or
Right.
intending to kill them.
Right. Well, it's a full moon.
As
Our
always,
great
yeah.
father, Esther, god of order, god of law, god of like organized society, the chaotic, not the lawful good god is high in the sky. He watches over all that happens beneath him. Today is an auspicious day. Tonight is an auspicious night. You should do no evils or no wrongs because Esther is watching and he will judge you for these things. So
I'm sure that there's some people who believe, like, well, you know, you steal something, you get your hand cut off. That's justice. That's what Esther would want, correct?
Velmontarius is
pigeon-
the god of justice.
Oh, fuck. Esther's
It's
order.
his son.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, never mind.
So
Well,
Esther would be
Velmontarius will forgive us.
Esther would be against vengeance, probably.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
'cause it
wants
doesn't-
like ordered things, not just vengeance. Vengeance is
Yeah.
unordered
Bureaucracy,
justice.
I just want to point out as well, I'm on 11 out of 27 HP, so I am quite heavily wounded. So
Yeah.
like, let's not
been
get into
noted.
serious,
I'm
let's not
34.
get into serious fights. Yeah.
I don't want to get in a fight, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we take positions near. We watch the cellar door from 2 different locations, and I think the goal is once like midnight passes, the witching hour passes, we'll take turns checking it every 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Really,
Okay.
45 minutes, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll check it first at 1 a.m. What we believe is 1 a.m.
When the moon is high in the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to wait until the moon is just past its zenith before you try the cellar and it opens freely.
Okay.
Okay.
I do a perception check to see if anybody fucking sees us.
Give me that perception check.
35.
That's a good roll.
There's no one around right now. Not at this hour. Only
go
the
like this
thieves
to
and
Luther.
ruffians are out now.
That's right.
Yeah, all right.
I go like this to Luther and we go in and we close it behind us.
I scoot over quietly.
Only the worst of society is around at this hour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Close it behind us quietly.
Wait, did you bring the girl in or is she staying outside?
No, she's with the horses.
I thought she was back at the place.
She's with the horses. Got it.
Yeah.
Just don't. Okay, cool.
No,
So
100%.
let's just talk about the cellar door because this might be your exit as well. And it's important to know what it is. The cellar door in an institution like this is so that you can bring in food supplies without having to like walk in front of all the guests, right? Because it's a fancy place. You don't want to see the help coming in through the door with food or drinks or like clearing shit out. You don't even want to see them bringing trash. The front door is for like the nice guests, right? The
It's
cellar,
also where the barrels for the beer need to go, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right. So the cellar door is actually rather large. It's like 6 feet across, maybe 4 feet tall. It's wider than it is tall. And there's a series of steps that come down it with little rails on either side. So if you need to like roll a barrel down, you can put a rope over the barrel and then like slowly let one end go and like gently roll the barrel down to the cellar below. And it's going to have a nice big underground area with some support beams to hold up the roof above it. And there's just going to be all sorts of dried goods, all sorts of barrels of food, water, wine, beer, whatever you might want. It's going to be like a big chaotic place with lots of little spiders and more than a few rats hanging around. You're also going to have fresh linen. It's your storage space for everything. And it's underground, so it stays nice and cool without freezing in the wintertime.
Okay.
The outside of the cellar is on the property, but sort of near a street. It's like the backside of the building. It's not an alleyway that it's in. It's just like a proper regular road, but like this road and the road on the other side both have their buildings facing out. And this is more like a utility road. Not small enough to be a proper alley, but like, all the cellars are back here. So it's kind of an out of the way place. It's also a place that you wouldn't really walk. So like walking through this cellar road would be a bit of an unusual thing to see someone do unless they were properly stocking one of these things or taking things away. Anyway, the point is just so you have context of what this entrance and exit looks like.
Okay. Yeah. It's
You
chaotic.
open the doors, you can head down. It's pitch
I
black
close them
down
behind
here.
me.
There's no light whatsoever.
I will.
I have a torch if you want me to light it. Might make a bit too much light though. and smoke.
I don't have. Yeah, light it because this is a storage facility,
Oh,
so
I
we
do
should
have
be able
my.
to.
I've got my lantern as well, actually.
Bullseye lantern's okay.
Where-
That's actually really good.
Where is your? You don't have a fire kit. Does anyone have a fucking fire kit?
Oh, I would have a fire kit. Sorry, I mean I've got torches, Neil, and a lantern.
He got
Well,
torches. He
I
got
have
his
a fire
lantern.
kit.
I know he doesn't have it, I guess, on there, but we would have it.
Talking
should
about
put it- and
taking
he should-
notes and who's good at taking notes.
Yeah.
There's no
He should
fire
put
kit.
it on his fucking sheet.
No, you had to have a fire kit. To be fair, I mean, you can say I'm writing it down because I would have
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
purposely took torches. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a
Alright.
fire kit.
Perfect.
Okay,
So
I
the
light
bullseye
my
lantern's actually
lantern,
very good.
but I think what I'll do is, Neil, I just scan for the stairs up, and then I'm gonna turn it off again.
Well, I'll tell you.
Look, we're in the storage area. Is there any candles?
As we
Okay.
scan the room.
Absolutely. There's a whole rack of candles. You got tall candles, you've got little votives, you've got large pillar candles. They come in beeswax variety for like the really nice things, and then the more common tallow candles, which produce a big, thick black smoke that comes off of them and kind of smells like boiling or cooking fats.
We want the nice candle that's not going to make a ton of smoke.
Yeah.
Oh, the really nice beeswax candle.
I'll point to one of those and tell Luther to,
Okay.
Take that,
Yeah.
light it,
I put the
use
I
that.
put the lantern back in my. Well, I light the candle from the lantern. I put the close the lantern, put it back in my bag, and then use the candle to guide us.
Takes a moment to like wrap the lantern and its glass up in a proper thing because it's it could break easily. The glass at this time is shitty. So you take the time, wrap it up. You've got your beeswax candle going. Just for flavor, do you want like a tall candle or like a fat pillar candle or a little one? The amount of light is going to be the same because the amount of light's based on the wick, but just as a concept of like what sort of candle are you grabbing?
I think it's like 2 inches across and relatively high.
Okay. Yeah. A nice pillar. Wonderful.
Candle.
Wonderful.
will
All right. One for
go
each of you or just one for...
Just one.
Okay, you take point. I'm gonna hold the candle.
I will go up the stairs.
I keep my candle in my left hand, Neil, and I've got my right hand near my belt,
Love
ready
it.
to draw my sword if such
I
a were to
have,
arise.
a dagger in one hand, probably a dagger in the other hand. No, probably a dagger in one hand because I'm using the other hand to do stuff. So I'm going to be always moving silently. That's going to be my goal. With
Yes.
In the witching hour, I'm trying to move as quietly as possible. And I'm going to try this door quietly.
Uh-huh.
Maybe listen fast. Listen.
I'll kind of motion for him to go and do a listen check.
Okay, I do a listen check. Neil at the door.
Yep. You stop. You put your ear to the door.
I'm not eavesdropping. I'm
You're
just
eavesdropping.
perceptioning,
Okay. You're just making a regular old perception check.
which I fail.
Cool. Yeah, it's fine.
I don't hear anything. All right, I take a step back.
Okay. All right, I didn't know we could use perception checks like that. I thought this was going to be an eavesdrop check, or I would have done it. But that's
Well,
fine.
in my mind, there's a difference between eavesdropping and trying
That's
to hear
true.
noise.
That's true. Okay, cool. We'll roll with that one.
Yeah,
will-
eavesdropping, it means the thief is focusing on a particular sound, noise, or conversation. It's,
Perception's for like a general. Do I hear things?
yeah, we are getting into some weird overlap because eavesdrop is essentially like a better perception check.
Yeah.
So it does. This is a slightly awkward area.
I've got plus 10 on both, so
I've got plus 17, so
yeah, whatever. Anyway,
that's fine.
we carry on.
I will open the door.
Is it unlocked?
It is unlocked.
I will
Fantastic.
go in. I'll motion for you to come in, and then I will close the door behind us and not lock it.
I observe that door.
Well,
Is
it's
it
just a
locked with
bar.
Is it
It's
a
just a bar,
bolt?
right?
It's a bar.
It's a bar. And the
I will
door.
bar the door.
For
Yeah, we
context, I should have said this before you touched the door even. This is a very solid oaken door that has been banded with strips of metal to sort of reinforce it. This is the sort of security door that if someone broke into the cellar for some reason, because the cellar gets like weathered by rain falling in all
Yeah.
the time, the door can kind of like get weak over it. This is the door that like you bar from the inside, and even if someone gets into the cellar, the walls are stone, and this door would prevent anyone from breaking in, minus a battering ram. Like you wouldn't be able to get through it with an axe even. So there's a nice set
This would be
of
the
like
city guard come to like raid this fucking building and have to use a battering ram to get through this door.
right. And there's a nice oaken bar across the backside of this that's been set just to the side, and a couple little slots that come out to hold it.
I'm gonna bar it.
Yeah.
Just in case for some fucking reason someone
Somebody
comes down and
sees
sees it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bar it.
Yeah,
And
the
we'll continue on.
the bar is like a 40-pound oak beam, white oak beam that you just set across it. There's no way anyone's gonna open this.
Cool. I bar it and we continue on.
All right. You take a few steps in. You find yourself in the kitchen, and there's the girl. There's the girl that you talked to earlier, Pigeon, and she sees you, and she
I'll
sees
wave at
Luther, and she just looks away while she continues to scrub a pot,
All right.
working late. She's got a couple of candles in here to light her.
I'll walk over to her and just whisper, where is his, I would know the word. His guy, where is his manservant? Which room?
He brought many. His, if you go to the top floor by way of the staircase just outside the kitchen, the first 5 rooms on the right side are his manservant, his footmen's. His ladies' rooms are the first 2 on the right.
Okay, I kind of give up on that idea.
Yeah.
I
fuck
reach
that.
into my bag and I hand her something. And we continue on.
What do you hand her? It's dark, right? There's just a little bit of
good, yeah.
candlelight. She's scrubbing
me,
pots
you know?
and dishes. Do you
I
hand her
hand
the
her a
gem?
gem.
Which gem?
I hand her the topaz gem, Neil, because that's the only one I brought on my sheet.
Nice.
Is that with the 500 gold piece gem?
It is, Nick, and this is going to
Holy.
change her life. It's going to help her a lot, and I continue on.
Unless
did
she
her
gets
fucking
caught
job.
with it.
Yeah, that's true.
She
She'll
did
figure
I mean,
it
it'll
out.
change her life one way or the other, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
We keep going, and I will go to this. I'll go towards the second floor.
Mhm.
I'll whisper as we're leaving the kitchen. He has too many manservants. We're not going to be able to find which one it is.
I agree.
So you take that first staircase,
Mm-hmm.
and you very quickly realize that this is the servants' staircase. It skips the second floor entirely
Yeah.
and just goes straight to the
We
third.
go back.
Okay. Yeah, you can make your way from the kitchens to the common room where you think you saw a staircase or something that looked like it might lead to a staircase earlier. The common room is dead quiet right now. There's a single candle burning on the chandelier that's like raised up above one of the tables, just to provide illumination if anyone needs anything. But beyond that, through a set of open doors, there's like a smoking room with a nice staircase that leads up with a nice brass handlebar, a banister railing, some red carpeting across some cherry floorwood.
That's where we go. We keep going.
Sounds nice.
Keep it
Yeah.
pushing.
Mhm.
Nice carpet as well keeps our steps nice and quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You make your way towards the top of the staircase. Luther behind, Pigeon in front.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. You want the person in front to have the light coming from behind them. You don't want the candlelight in front of you. You make your way up, Pigeon. You can peer out across the second floor, and boom, the hallway splits in 2 different directions, but there's a glass tipped upside down in front of one of the doors on your left side.
That's
I
the
go
badger.
there. That's where we're going. I will perception check to see if I hear or see anything, any light coming from under the door, etc. 21, that hits.
Nope.
Yahtzee.
It's dark down up here. The
And I
only
don't hear
light is
anything.
what comes in through the windows, sort of casting nice little shadows. It's a full moon. That's really bright
Yeah.
light, actually. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna do a quick eavesdrop check. Just a. Okay, doesn't hit, but that's fine.
Yep.
And I'm gonna pick the lock, Neil. So here we go. 33.
Boom.
You don't roll for this one,
Oh, you're right. You don't.
right? This is a good lock. You have a
But
20.
I am rolling because I'm finding or removing traps too. That's why I'm
Mm.
rolling. I knew I rolled
Gotcha.
for a reason. You roll for find or remove traps, so I'm checking the
Oh.
door.
Oh, but
for
it's
any
an
traps.
untrapped door.
Good.
It's a good lock. This would, an average thief would have to work at this for a long time.
I'm no average.
But for you, you take one look at it, it's foreign work. You haven't seen this before, but it looks reminiscent of the Brandy school of lock making. And so obviously you're going to need a pick, and you're going to need a spreader to get in there and kind of push things apart before you can actually pick the things above you. So you pull out your tweezers, you pull out your little hook, and you set to work. And in less than a minute,
Damn.
Yeah, less than a minute, Nick. This
Pigeon's
could've been-
insane.
Yeah, this is a good lock, but yeah, no. I
you
ease the door open.
the door. Outside, well, you can see a window with some nice glass, bringing light on top of the two sleeping bodies in a bed. It's been a full moon night without much in the way of cloud cover outside. But even without a lot of cloud cover, you can see that it's beginning to gently rain out there. Just little specks of water start flecking across the glass, kind of creating
they don't
shadows
have
and
their curtains
ripples.
closed. So there's light in the room.
Which
Yeah.
is good for us.
So I blow the candle out then.
Poof, candle's gone.
All right.
And I pocket it.
I enter
I'm not holding it anymore.
Got it.
as quietly as I can, and I scan the room with, I think, a perception check to see what I see.
Okay.
In
I'm going to make
curious.
you a move silently check.
Yep.
What's your chance? I want to make it in private because I don't want you to know.
13 is my move.
Is your
silently.
modifier?
Yeah. And then there's other like things that come with it. There's like an opposed roll.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Mine's
Roll
14 for the record.
Yours is 14.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. And none of you are encumbered?
Nope.
Absolutely not. I'm base, I think.
Great.
Same.
Excellent. The two of you, door open, step into the room. There's a
I'm
bed with it's a wooden bed frame, nice feather bed. There's some wardrobes in here. No built-in closets anywhere, just wardrobes. There's candles on both of the nightstands, but neither of them are lit.
I will
36 on my perception check.
get my left hand, Neil, on one of the rags. And I've still got my right hand on my sword. I'm going to let him do his little perception check. But once he starts actively looting, I'm going to stand by the bed. I'm going to have the rag in my left hand. I'm going to have my sword drawn and kind of pointing at them. And I want to just react if I see one of them wake up.
Okay. The couple is cuddling.
Yeah, good.
The companion laying behind the man who took your dagger, her arms wrapped around him.
She's spooning him,
She is spooning him.
as expected. Listen, we don't have those kind of progressive views down in Stromheim on the streets. This means one thing to me. I don't need to say it. You know what it means.
I get a 36 on my perception check as I'm walking in silently, and I scan.
What
the
is this?
room.
Just scanning the room, right?
I'm
You
scanning the room specifically for my dagger and his items, and yeah.
Well, the wardrobes are closed. The nightstands are cleared and clean. It's a very tidy room. There's no dagger just lying out in the
Lying around.
open anywhere. Maybe it's in the wardrobe. Maybe it's under one of his pillows. Maybe he gave it to one of his people. Maybe he threw it away. Probably not. It looks kind of nice.
We'll see. I'm gonna walk over to the wardrobe,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna slowly open it, take a peek in what's in there.
Yeah, the wardrobe opens. You can see that in here are a bunch of clothes that have been hung up, a few different suits. This looks like a man's wardrobe with nice party clothing, a little bit of traveling clothing, and a little bit of around town clothing, as well as 4 different pairs of shoes.
I'm gonna crack open whatever like drawers are in it, and I'm gonna start searching those.
Socks, bow ties, gloves, no dagger.
Okay, does he have a bag?
A bag?
Yeah. Is there like
No.
backpack or anything like that?
No.
No like man purse.
No man
Check
purse.
the jacket he was wearing.
Yeah, I guess I'll look for the jacket that he was wearing.
Yeah, you kind of part the jacket a little bit, and you can see in here, on the same hanger that the jacket he was wearing is attached his weapons across like a weapons belt. The things that he would normally equip himself with.
check his weapons in there?
It's just his weapons. He didn't replace any of them with your dagger.
Are they like finely crafted? They look awesome. Because if so, I'll just string the weapons belt on me for now. Or I'll just like, maybe.
They are quality weapons that a noble would have.
Okay.
Yes.
Nothing stands out. Like there is like his dagger doesn't have like a gem on it or anything, or his rapier doesn't have a gem on it.
No, they're not gem studded, but like the pommels are weighted with like a Damascus styled like layered metal on the base of it, which probably took some effort. You could look at this and appreciate that it's a fine weapon. It probably sells for 4 times normal sword prices, 4 to 10 times normal sword prices.
I'll leave
Pretty
it alone
good.
for now, and I'll sneak over to his nightstand,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll check that.
Yeah, the nightstand opens up. There is a small bag in there that probably contains coins. It looks like a little coin purse.
Take that.
Put it in my I'll put it in my
Yep.
side. You know.
Yeah,
affection
go
or whatever.
ahead and add. Let me just roll some dice real quick here. 13 gold, 11 silver to your character sheet.
Weak.
4.
This is just his. This is the money he carries. His proper possessions are elsewhere.
Can't bribe anyone with that money.
No, you can't bribe anybody. with that.
Useless.
Don't need a bribe if you're a noble and the world is built for you.
I'm gonna. Do I see anything else that like stands out to me as I look around?
No, it's a very tidy
check.
place. You know, the noble guy, he must have his like servants carry all of his fun stuff, all of his good stuff.
All right, so we're gonna need to kind of wake him up a little bit with a knife, I think.
You think?
Pigeon like stops for a second and thinks. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm not seeing it. It could be under his pillow. But at some point we have to like, if it's not in here, we need it back, right? Where is it? Who's gonna know where it is?
Maybe we can check his pillow. I mean, they're spooning Neil. Are they more on her pillow or more on his pillow?
They are more on her pillow.
There we go. So
I'll put my hand.
wait, if it's a sleight of hand, if it's pickpockets, maybe I should do it.
Is this a pickpockets, Neil?
I feel
To
like
go
that's-
reach
I
under
also
the
don't-
pillow? Yeah, it's absolutely
I also don't think that
pickpockets.
I'd.
Mhm.
Would I really call you over to come do the pickpocket?
Well,
because I know you're-
I'm standing right there. So I'm
Okay,
standing
then I'll-
above their bed, right?
I'll point for you.
So
to do it
I
then,
see
yeah.
you point at the pillow.
And you've
So
got the cloth
I hand
in
you
one
my
hand.
sword. Hand you my sword that's in my right hand.
I'll hold your sword in my left hand and have a dagger in my right.
Yeah, fine. Just to free up my right hand for a second, Neil, and then I'm gonna quietly put my hand under the pillow and look for the dagger.
Yes, you slip your hand under the pillow, under his pillow, which no one's head is on. Go ahead and make me that pickpockets check.
Not a 1.
I mean, he needs
That-
a perception check, and he needs to get penalties for being asleep.
He does.
not a 1.
The
It's just the
sleep
fourth.
penalty is 1/2 your perception. I was going to give him an additional penalty because it's not his pillow, and you're not you're not pickpocketing him. You're taking something from near him. But he did roll a natural 20.
Okay.
Oh shit!
So whatever
do it then,
half
yeah.
his modifier is with penalties is still going to be greater than 1. So under the worst possible set of circumstances for you, you roll a 2, he rolls a 20. You reach under the pillow. He must be a light sleeper because he kind of startles and his eyes open. And as he's like opening them,
I shove the gag in his mouth.
left
And
hand
I-
goes straight for the face. Give me an attack roll at +4.
This guy. 24.
Bam! Your hands wrap the gag into his mouth,
I put
pinning
the-
him to the bed. The courtesan
the dagger-
immediately.
To the lady. Immediately to her neck.
With my right hand, I give him a shh.
She botches her morale check. Goes very still, very quiet. He kind of goes, "Oh!" And then he sees the dagger on the lady, and goes pretty still and raises his hands up from within the.
I take my sword back from.
I hand it
Pigeon.
over, and I'll say,
Where is my dagger?
Luther, are you holding his? I mean, you put the the gag in his mouth. It hasn't been tied yet.
I just shoved it in his mouth like it was a sock.
Got it. You just shoved the sock in. Perfect.
Okay. So when he asks him the question, I point the sword at his neck, and then I slowly take the
hand away.
Take the rag away from out of his mouth.
I gave it to my butler.
What room is he in?
I don't know. It's in the butler's quarters. Think I know these things?
I need my dagger back, or you both are going to die.
You'll have to let me up then.
You can go together. Right? You can get your dagger behind his back. You can go to see the butler now. We can't let him go on his own.
I think.
What do you suggest? Your life is on the line here. And so is your courtesans. I heard you have a ball that you would like to attend. And I'd very much like you to get there. Don't know who you messed with today.
It's got to be hard for him. Swallows pride like this.
Go upstairs. I'll call for James. He'll come to the door and open it. Ask him for the dagger. He'll ask me why. I'll tell him it's none of his business. He'll give it to me. And he'll go back to bed.
I hold the dagger to the lady's throat. I go over to the guy's closet.
Wait, how do you do both at the same time?
Sorry, I kind of hold it to her throat and motion for her to get up with me.
No, okay, yeah. She gets up in her long nightgown, stands up next to you.
I tell her to
pick out some clothes you think will fit me.
She walks over to the dresser with you. Similarity check. The heights are pretty different. She does a quick assessment of you.
a long coat.
Yeah, it gives you just a coat that's a bit too long for you. Gives you
for him probably, right? Because I'm.
Oh, are
I'm
you really
taller
tall?
than him. I'm
Yeah,
really
okay.
tall.
It's a short coat for you then.
Okay, that's fine. I'll put it on.
Gives you one of these night shirts that he would wear as well. It's basically a dressing gown for him. Yeah.
That's fine. I'll hand the lady over, and I'm gonna.
I want to impart on you this knowledge. We could kill you, but we're not going to. And we want this to be the end of it. I want my dagger back. We're going to leave this city, and that's it. But after this, if you escalate it, we can get to you, and we will. Now let's go.
Gives
I'll
a
hand Luther
polite
the lady.
nod.
Yeah, okay.
I'll put the dagger to this guy's neck. No, I'll just put it to his back and I'll follow him, Now I have my coat on. I have 2 daggers in, but my hands are like this. So if he does anything, I'm going to stab him. When we go to the door, I'm going to stand to the left of the door. So when he opens it, I'm to the left. So the butler, if he comes out, he's going to see me standing there. But if he doesn't, I'm hopefully not going to be within range. That's the goal here.
Got it. And Luther, you're staying behind with the courtesan.
Yeah, the courtesan. Talk to me about the courtesan. Is she super hot?
Well, she's got the bedhead going on, but yeah, she's a lady who has known an easy life and has known no sun damage to the skin, who has made her way partially on her looks in this world. Yeah.
She's of noble birth, do I think, or not?
Judging by a quick glance, not having heard her speak, it's really hard to tell. If she's not noble born, then she's practiced and refined enough that she would pass. You'd really have to listen to her talk for a while. She's a person like this would be trained to try and blend in.
So as they leave, we can cut to them in a second.
Yeah.
I've got my sword out. I'm not holding it necessarily at her throat. I think she's probably sat on the bed, and I'm stood up near her with the sword drawn. And I say, well, guy like you're wasted on this loser. Like, we're much richer than this guy. It's fortune. This place sucks. You should come to Stromheim, baby.
Well, I do like a man who knows his strength, but
Come on, Nick. Charisma check on her.
men that
I'm
get up in the
working up to
middle
it.
of the night and hold swords to people's throats, you're a brute. I don't want a brute.
How do you know? You ever had one?
There are plenty of men like you where I come from.
Not like me. Not rich like me, trust me. I could buy this entire place without blinking an eye. I've got like 100 dwarves working for me back in
That's
Stromheim.
true. That's true.
Mm-hmm. He says as he
Anyway.
breaks into an inn in the middle of the night and holds an innocent woman hostage. Sounds like you're a rich man.
Your boyfriend stole our dagger. We're just here to get back what's mine. He's the thief.
The dagger that your friend threw at him?
Yes. That's right. He should have returned it. You weren't there. I mean, he's obviously told you a very different story to what happened. I mean, I was winning that fight and I didn't even have a sword. I was just... Well, anyway,
You're really
I'm sure you-
impressing me right now.
Yeah. You fucking posh girls are all stuck up anyway. I don't care. Sit back down.
Incel? I don't care. Fuck you.
Yeah.
She sits down and gives you like a regarding look and says, so, in a quiet voice, more quiet than that. So, as long as we're
Yeah.
here chatting, what's so special
Mhm.
about this dagger?
I consider, against my better judgment, it's magic.
Her eyes go up a little bit. Oh,
You see? Exactly.
what are you, a street man, doing with a magic dagger?
I told you I got 100 dwarfs. You think I'm only not got any magic items? You've got no idea. Fucking hell. The lords in this city, they're like the butlers in Stromheim. In terms of the scale.
They've always said Stromheim was a place of power and class. What brings
Steal
you to
his girl.
fortune?
Say that again.
What brings you to fortune?
Research. Opening up new lines of inquiry.
I'm a
worry, you're
well-traveled,
pretty.
well-read woman. What sort of research are you looking for? Delving into?
I'm afraid that's maybe for the second date, and I give her a wink. But we'll be leaving tomorrow morning, so you do fancy a bit of adventure, track down the wild side. You should meet us at the North Gates.
She drops. She changes her accent, and out comes like a real common girl accent. And she'd be like, I used to walk on the wild side all the time. That ain't anything I ever want to go back to. And she switches back to a slightly more refined accent. It's a life I chose to leave behind. But I understand
Fair
where you're
enough.
coming from and what you need to do. Are you really going to leave us be? Or should I be looking the other way? We lower folk have to look out for each other even in conflicts like this.
Hand on heart, we've got no intention of hurting this guy.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
She accepts you at face value without, doubting you.
Good. All right. I stay with her. We chat. I shouldn't be talking to her, but you know how these things are.
Yeah, and you know what? She's friendly. She's nice to talk to. She challenges you a little bit, but
Your
also
wife.
sort of.
I like her. Yeah, I genuinely would like her to come with me, but
She's
deep
lo-
down, Luther knows that she'd be better off with this guy than him.
Yeah, she's no lemon.
Yeah, she's no lemon for sure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, stalking through the hallway is Pigeon, and this guy's name was Lord Rye.
Lord Rye.
Named that because his peasants farm rye.
Nice.
It's not a very great name, but hey, it's fortune. It's
It's a name.
It's the Golden Sea, you know, it's Flat County. What do you expect from these folks? He takes you upstairs, walks down the hallway a little bit, slightly concerned, and then calls out, James? Excuse me, James? And he pauses, and then like a door creaks open, and he kind of like hurries down the hallway towards him because he was definitely in the wrong spot. Yeah. The door opens and the butler kind of pokes his head out, looks one way, looks your way, sees the two of you as you're coming down the hallway, or maybe just sees him. It's dark. Yeah, there's not very much dark light in here. He goes, my lord, what's the matter at this hour? And the Lord says, James, that dagger that you gave me, I've been thinking about it. It's been keeping me up. Would you get it for me? Butler says, of course, my lord. Is there anything I can... No, just give me the dagger. James closes the door. Waits. Seconds roll on. He comes back out, opens the door, and hands out the dagger in a new sheath, actually. Looks like he's already gotten one, or maybe took one from the kitchens or something. It says, is everything quite all right, sir? The Lord says, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, James. We'll talk in the morning. Good night, and sorry for the disturbance. Butler says, of course, sir. And kind of pauses with the door open. Does the butler see you? It's very dark in this hallway. Neither of you brought a light. You, with your brilliantly large eyes, can see that the butler is like looking at James and then like glances towards your face, and then he glances back at the Lord. And the Lord just kind of flicks him away, and the butler steps back inside and shuts the door. And Lord Rye turns to face you and presents you with both hands the dagger in its brand new sheath.
I take it and I'll say, Butler saw me. You need to tell him not to tell anyone or call the guard. Because we're going to be watching this place for the entire night. And if they come, we're going to kill you. But if you just let it go, we will be leaving in the morning.
He nods once.
Go inform him.
He walks to the door, gives it a rap. The door opens immediately as if the butler's standing right there. And Lord Rye says, James, you're not to alert anyone. You're to go to bed and stay there quietly. Do you understand? Butler nods.
Lord.
Butler says, the Lord says, good man. And pushes the door shut himself. And looks back at you. Are you satisfied?
I nod. Come on, let's go back to the room.
He walks back with you.
Okay,
I shouldn't have to tell you this, but if anything were to befall me, you would certainly not escape unscathed by the end of the year. You understand?
I understand completely, and I truly don't want to hurt you, man. I don't know why my compatriot got in a fight with you. I just want my shit back, and I want it to all be over. We're gonna leave the city. All right?
Understood.
No disrespect.
I understand. Hostages, negotiations, reselling of armor back to one another. These are the things of society.
We're not taking anything else from you. In fact,
I'll reach to my side and give him back the coinage.
That's amazing.
So I'll take it off my sheet, go back to whatever I had.
Mm-hmm.
we're not thieves, I say, lying.
Handing him his money back.
We're not thieves. Just want my shit. Now, let's go back to the room.
Well, you're hardly heroes, he says.
Yeah, I nod, yeah.
I haven't heard that one before.
We get back to the room.
Yeah.
I show Luther I got the dagger. I say,
All right, let's leave.
As we leave, I say to the Lord, I say, you've got to keep her there. Keep hold of her. And then I give Hare a wink as I leave. Mostly just to unsettle him. Not for any other reason than that. So
Again,
I make sure he sees it. And then
Yeah.
we'll
we're
leave.
gonna be watching all night. Not a word to the guards ever, and everything will be okay. Because I'll know if they hear.
Did you kill the guards?
I shake
Out
my head.
front?
No, we're not murderers.
He nods
Jesus.
once. Good.
All right.
Where'd you go?
Well, I tip my cap at him as we leave.
I close the door quietly,
Mhm.
and we go to the way out.
Yeah,
Which way? The front door or the cellar door?
Cellar door.
the cellar door. Yeah.
Okay. There's that same girl, that same servant. It looks like she's done cleaning all the dishes at this point, but she's just standing nervously in the kitchen by the cellar door as you come in.
I will fast-paced walk up to her and whisper to her.
Hide that stone. If they find it on you, they will kill you. Hide the platinum. We are leaving, and you are to lock the door behind us.
Did anyone see you?
I do nod.
Yes, no one is injured, no one is hurt. Simple negotiations.
What should I
Deny
tell
you
them?
ever saw us.
I never saw you?
Never saw us.
She nods.
Hide the gem.
And we leave.
Okay. She will actually go down into the cellar with you.
Yeah.
Lock the cellar door behind you as you guys exit, because it's also barred, but it's a weaker door. And that's it.
Sweet.
You're out. You're out into the
That
streets.
was fucking smooth. Amazing
It
what you
was
can do with a
smooth.
bit of coin. Yeah, that was good.
I do think that we need to stay here, probably in the near. I guess I'll ask Luther.
I think we should stay here in the nearby area to see if they snitch, or should we get out of here in case they do?
We've got to be waiting around on the street till sunrise anyway. We might as well watch it.
All right. We'll spend like the next 30 minutes finding like what we think is like the best place to watch this area.
The cellar door or the front door?
The
Just
front
the
door.
end.
I'm not
Yeah.
worried about the cellar door at all.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find a spot. You're gonna have to hop a fence to get into someone's yard is the best spot to do it, and then from
do
there
that.
there's like a fence that you can gaze through.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Just gonna make a couple of random checks right here. Make sure that there's nothing sneaky going on. It's all fine. You watch for, you said half an hour or something?
I said we spend half an hour looking for the best
A
spot.
spot. I
And
think we
then
wait till sun starts to rise.
We're gonna wait till the sun starts to rise. I'm gonna take off my leather armor and put it back in my bag during this time. And we're gonna
Oh,
wait till the sun
Yeah,
rises.
put my sword in my bag as well.
Once the sun rises and we feel like the gate's open, we're getting the fuck out of this entire city.
Okay.
Wait, do we know where this guy's town is? You got that?
We know
from
the name.
girl.
We can get it on the way, and
Yeah.
she's
If
from
you
the
know
area.
his name, you could just ask people, and people are gonna know where
Yeah.
Lord Rye lives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was actually.
See, this is the thing with the nobles is they've got a lot more to lose than your average fucking loser
do.
in the street. So like to him, like why risk dying? Like he has such a good
100%.
life. Like it's nothing to him, right?
And he knows we can get in there. He shouldn't risk it, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
And you were also respectful. Like you
Yes.
woke him up in the middle of the night and
I
held
apologize to
swords to
him.
his throat, but like you weren't cussing him out, you weren't degrading him in front of his woman. Like
I apologized
It was-
to him. I said, my friend, my bad.
it was a very
That's good.
polite transaction, and he responded
was.
very well to it.
He did.
Okay.
It did cost us a lot to get it though. I mean, we
It did.
just paid about 600 gold to get this, but that's
Yes.
We
still-
did. But
Yes.
magic items are priceless.
That's worth it.
so
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yes.
For sure.
We would never have gotten in, otherwise. So it was good.
Yes.
No, we wouldn't have got through that. Well, no, because you couldn't have picked the lock on the big oak
No,
door
you can't
in the
pick
cellar.
bars.
No.
Can't pick bars.
We wouldn't have got through the guard without causing a ruckus.
Yep. Well, you wait till the sun begins to rise, then you head back to the inn where you left Angelica with your horses,
Yep.
hoping that whatever City Watch was called didn't intimidate the innkeeper into revealing
Agreed.
information. Do we trust that, or do we need to approach carefully? Are
If
we
they had some
worried?
reason to suspect that it was this inn, but they're asking in like multiple inns, they can't threaten every innkeeper.
Do I know what room we were
Have
in?
you met? Have you met a corrupt society?
No,
Well,
but what I
do
mean
it-
is like it's one thing to if you know someone knows something and you're trying to scare them into telling you it, that's one thing. But if if there's only a 5% chance that the guy knows anything, like how far do you really take it?
Sure, but you wouldn't necessarily hold a dagger to him and be like, tell me or I'm going to kill you. But you could be like, hey, we're here on very official duty.
Yeah.
This is a super serious crime. You understand, by if you withhold it, you can intimidate without threatening, if that makes sense.
I think we greased the wheels enough that it's okay.
Yeah.
Which room were we in? Does it have a window?
Well, we don't need to go into the inn. We
No,
just
I
go
know,
to the
that's what I'm
we just
saying.
go to the stable, right?
Right. Now, you gave this
Choose with the
innkeeper
horses, yeah.
a lot of money. A lot of money.
A lot of money.
30 gold.
Yeah. You get back to the stables. There's Angelica hanging out by the horses, looking pretty
Let's go.
bored. You guys get your horses. The sun's beginning to come up. Life is beginning to happen in the city. You can grab your stuff, hop on the horses, and head for the gate.
Let's go through the gate, split up, so that we're not instantly recognizable as two
Agreed.
men and a woman. So I think I'll go with Angelica, and then you follow after like 20 minutes later.
You son of a bitch.
Sure.
I was just about to...
Good call, Nick.
Got him.
Well, it's fine. You get through the gates without crisis. You make it into the open plains.
We're on the outside,
And you can
baby.
fuck it. You
We
are
did it.
free and clear of all danger, with probably nobody looking for you.
Where does
Lord Rye live, Angelica?
Ooh, does she know? She left when she was young. She doesn't know that name, but she can ask someone on the way out for you if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, because we're immediately going there.
Cool.
I
Yeah, she
assume
will
there's
get.
there's like farms and stuff on the outside of the wall. So there's people outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we need to decide whether we're going to go back to that one village to get our bodyguards and bring them to the new town, or if we're just going to leave them there. And
I would leave them there because we
Yeah.
told them it was going to be about a week. It's been like a day. So let's go do our thieving at this
Yeah.
new place, and then we can go get them.
yeah, okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Out of the city, in the farmlands. It's a kind of an overcast day here in November, but the bad weather doesn't really matter because you pulled off maybe the most successful heist you've ever done before. Maybe not the greatest payoff, but like the smoothest procedure with the best information gathering. This
Good.
was an ideal heist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've turned a corner here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're professionals.
I also like the idea that clearly Pigeon's the better thief than Luther, but in Luther's mind, Pigeon's doing great because he's learned from Luther.
He's
Right.
like, yeah, he really gets it. He's really learned from me. Yeah.
He's doing well. Yeah.
All right. Did you say you were going to head to Lord Rye's estate?
Immediately.
Yeah. To his village. Yeah.
Because a lot of the people who actually probably look over the state are gone
Is-
right now.
Yeah.
It sounds like the guy's got 8 rooms. That's
There's still going to be
Money.
people there.
there's
Let's
still gonna
not
be people, and we're gonna need to sneak in and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that
We'll have an
pretty
easier
good.
time than we would be if he was there himself.
Are you at all concerned
about to
about
say, yeah.
that last threat he made? That like if you harm us, you'll rue the day by the end of the year or something like that? Because he just had this altercation with you. When he goes home, his house has been conveniently looted at the same time. Like he might not have 100% evidence that you did this, but that you were going to be the top of the suspicion list. I don't know if you care
Well,
though.
I was actually about to bring this up.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's probably other nobles that are at this ball. What if instead of hitting Lord Rye, we just hit the next one over? Because if we hit Lord Rye, he's going to be pissed because I told him that was the end of it.
Yeah, I guess.
And no matter what happens, he's going to blame us. So I say, you remember that noble who we ran into on the horse on the way here? It was like, this is all my domain. Let's go fucking hit him. He's probably up there at the ball jerking off too.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. You're right. There's no point to go for Rye versus another noble. So I guess he's kind of got it coming, though, don't you think? Although, how was he when you took him upstairs?
Respectful. Yeah, respectful. Like, he just wanted respect and not to be fucked with again.
Luther thinks to himself. He doesn't say this out loud. We rob Lord Rye. He's more likely to run into that woman again. Not exactly sure how that happens, but it's more likely that if we rob him, we'll run into her. But he has a thought that fucking Eraser got himself captured because of a woman. So, yeah, you're probably right, Pigeon. But we'll have to. I mean, I don't know. Is there a do we want the richest one? We probably don't, do we? Pick one at random.
Yeah, I say we just pick one at random. I mean, no matter what, they're going to be rich, right? It doesn't matter if we go for the richest one or the poorest one. They're going to be rich.
Yeah.
We just want someone with gold and gems. Just easy shit. You know, I don't want to go to the guy who's really into fucking chandeliers because we're not going to be able to move that around. We just want people, you know, is there anybody who mans the mines out here? Who pulls the ore? That's going to be the one we want.
Angelica will speak up and be like, this is Flat County. There ain't no ore out here. It's just farmlands for as far as the eye can see. Nice and flat with watchtowers.
Well, Angelica, you got any beef with any of these lords around here? You got a preference? Who we hit?
They're all pretty much the same, but if you want someone who's at the ball, she thinks to herself. I'm gonna have her make an intelligence check to see if she recognizes. She saw a bunch of
People.
signs and sigils outside of these inns. If she had a heraldry proficiency, she would know the names of a bunch of folks. But she doesn't have a heraldry proficiency, so she needs to make an int check just to see if she can identify any of them because she hasn't lived here in a while. And she will pass. She'll think to herself, the Barley Lord. I saw his banner at the same inn outside when we first went there. One of his men was standing around with it.
Lord Barley, let's go for him. Brilliant, Angelica. You're the perfect addition to the team.
Yeah, sounds good. Which town's it? Which village?
He shrugs. We'll have to ask someone.
All right. Okay.
And ask someone you will. You're walking through farmland. It's not difficult for you to stop and just ask a peasant, hey, is this the right way to Lord Barley's place? Oh, no, we're going the wrong direction. Oh, my God, we got turned around. Oh, that terrible blah, blah, yeah. Easy peasy. Lord, you guys have thus far been following the river from Copper Hill to Fortune.
Yes.
The Barley Lord lives out in the Golden Sea. Generally in the way of Plainsview, but like not quite, says Angelica.
Is that back towards Copper Hill or further?
It's further away. Copper Hill's to the east. I'm sorry, to the west. This will be to the east, but both of them are south of here.
How far is it? Like, do we need our bodyguards? The road? Okay. We'll be there in a day, right?
When you ask a local peasant how far it is, they're going to give you like how far it would take them to walk there. And they say it's a day and a half away. You're on horses, so you could probably get there before nightfall.
Okay, let's do that. We should be able to get there. We've left first light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you'll have to ask directions along the way because you're not going on a road. You're going on a series of shitty trails, and sometimes there's signposts and sometimes there's not. And so at every trail intersection that's not clearly marked, you'll have to ask someone or like go down a way to like find a person to ask. It'll take a little while, but it's definitely doable.
There's not little signs, is there? Or not little
sometimes there's going to be signs, but sometimes the signs will be blown down or like so worn down that that it's hard to read, and sometimes they'll just be missing because teenagers destroy things and there's no government to really upkeep these things.
Sounds quite a pleasant walk though, through the trails and the fields and the rolling hills.
Yeah, it's a nice gentle afternoon making your way to Lord Barley's.
You've got to remember that Pigeon and Luther have not spent much time in nature. Like, we live in like urban sprawl of the worst slum kind. So actually, like, on a horse hearing the birds chirp, walking through these fields. It's a relatively nice day. I hope. It was raining last night, but it's not raining today. This is a moment. Like, Luther has a vision here of a different life to the one he's imagined. I think when he's thought of like wealth and success, it's always looked like the inner city of Stromheim, except now it's like, well, actually, there's more to the world than just living in that city.
This is beautiful, Luther.
It really is. I mean, this is... I always thought that it was horrible out here in Fortune, but I'll tell you what, it's nicer than the streets of the slums.
I mean, the people are horrible, but the outside's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I
great.
could really see moving out here with the gang.
We could have our own little village, our own little mansion like this guy.
Yeah, but we just put all that money in our dwarven base.
Yeah.
I'll say to Angelica,
You know, we got about 100 dwarves working on our base right now at Stromheim.
That sounds
Really?
like an exaggeration, but there's actually
Oh,
like
I'm
hundreds.
serious. There's like 100. Yeah, we're building the whole thing. You could come, stay with us if you needed.
Safest place in the city, I'm telling you. The traps we're building down there. There's gonna be there's gonna be this bit right where there's like a whole pit. If you step on the wrong tile, the floor's gonna open up. You're gonna slide down into an extra level. I'm having the dwarves dig out this pit just for this. And in the pit, guess what's in the pit?
What's in the pit?
Living
Monsters.
skeletons. No, skeletons. I know where there's some skeletons left from when they attacked the city. We're gonna capture them in cages and bring them there. Keep them all in the pit like that. So if anyone tries to sneak in, they fall down there.
Skeleton.
Rawr, ravaged by skeletons. Amazing.
Fiona told me not to accept any offers from strange men to co-live with them.
That's wise, yeah.
That's fair. Yeah,
But we're not
that's probably
strange,
fair.
right?
It's nothing strange. Everyone would have a skeleton pit if they could.
You'd think about it,
No, you do. Pigeon,
Join our team.
Everyone would have a skeleton pit.
Well, I agree. Yeah, that
Yeah.
of course. But she
Yeah.
was calling us strange men, and I'm
Oh.
saying, we're not. If
Well,
she
not
needs a
everyone's-
team, she could join Steel Team 6 as a
Consultant.
consultant. Yeah. Is there
I
can
could
only
do
be
that.
6? Yeah.
She says.
Technically, you're consulting right now.
Technically, you're consulting right now. The consultant's quarters.
Do I get a title? She says, sort of like excited.
Lead consultant.
You'll start off as an associate.
Yeah.
After your review on your second year, if you've done well, you
Partner?
could become a senior associate, then a manager, then a senior manager, then a director, and then potentially
Then a partner.
a partner. Maybe then
Which
a partner.
that's
yeah.
kind of like a member of Steel Team 6.
She laughs and then freezes in her laughter and like pulls the horse a little bit too hard, enough that the horse like reins back and tosses her. But she holds on because she's very lightweight. And then points a finger towards the ground and the trail in front of you.
I spin around, drawing my sword.
There is just a section of upturned earth, a couple of them, like 4 little spots that are maybe, I don't know, 6 feet long, 2 feet wide, of just like recently
feet deep.
upturned. No. That's not a hole. It's just like a little oval of ground. 4 little ovals of
Interesting.
ground where like the ground has been like recently dug up and then like left alone, like someone
What is
pulled
it?
out a giant vegetable or something.
What is it, Angelica?
I think you know what it is.
a kobold?
I go over to it. It looks like graves, right? look like
There's
freshly
no
dug graves?
headstones. There's no headstones, but it does look about the size of a person. And it just looks like the ground has been recently, like a huge gopher or an ankh egg has recently emerged and then like burrowed back down again.
Okay, let's cut
keep
with
it
the bullshit
moving.
for a second. Does it look like a body has climbed out? Like you buried a body 2 feet down, and then night came and it dug itself back up? Does it look like what that would look like?
You know, if that's Luther's paranoia, then
Yeah.
abso-fucking-lutely, this 100% is that. Definitely.
This is
Come
what you
on,
were
let's-
talking about, Angelica. Bandits must have killed these guys, buried them out here, and then last night they got up. Well, we should fucking leave.
Let's keep going. Let's get to Barley's then.
Let's speed it up.
Yeah. Yeah, stop talking so much, Pigeon.
I think the pace is a little bit faster through the rest of the day.
Yeah, as the sun starts to set and we're not there yet, like Luther is like anxious about the sun going down and getting to the town before the sun goes down. Because
Now,
God knows how many, like there was a war here. Who knows how many like dead people are just buried around like randomly in the fields.
Now, this is a fun thing. I wanted to get into this a little earlier because you guys live in the city. You're used to tall buildings. You're used to like being able to tell that the sun sets over that tower at this time of the day. But here in the Golden Sea, it's flat for forever and ever and ever and ever. Like you can't see any mountains anywhere, I don't think. What's the closest mountain to you? 70 miles? 70 miles is the closest in campaign, yeah. So you can't see a mountain peak. You just see flat grass forever and ever and ever. And that makes it really hard to tell where the sun is going to set. You don't know, like, is it going to drop right here or is it arcing way the fuck over there? When you're without a watch in unfamiliar territory, this is the problem with navigating the high seas before water clocks were invented. You just didn't know what time it was or really what direction things were. It's really easy to get lost. So when you're talking about, worrying about the sun setting, it's really easy to get paranoid that like maybe the sun, maybe
it could
you
set
count your hands,
minutes.
It could set in an hour or maybe it's 4 hours and you don't really know, but you are pushing your horses. Now, if you're this concerned, you are going to pass a couple of villages along the way. Do you want to stop off at a village or do you want to keep pushing on to Lord Barley's estate?
I think we can ask at the village how far we are.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Is there a village attached to his estate?
Yes, a very large village.
Okay. Yeah. So
not quite a town is how the people call it.
If they say that we can get there before dark, then we'll carry on.
Definitely.
And I will ask them because that makes me feel better, right?
Yeah. If you ask, can we get there before dark? They'll say 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
As long as your horse doesn't throw a shoe.
Yeah.
Right. We can get
tip my black cap at the villager.
Yeah. Luckily, MrMouton has a large sun hat to help keep the shade, the sun off his face.
My 2 gold sun hat.
He's cosplaying as the bard from Tides of Death that he killed.
So we're on our way. Actually, we're arriving in the large village, not quite a town, at Lord Rye's estate. Rye's estate is
Barley.
I'm sorry, Barley. Thank you. Lord Barley has what we would call a motte and bailey. This is when you mound up a hill on otherwise flat territory and then put a wall around it and add a little castle. Castle's a strong word here. To make it like
a wooden keep.
Yeah. It's like a little wooden keep on an artificial hill. So it's raised up. So you have to like go up to it, which makes it harder to attack and also gives you a really nice view of the whole area around you. You'll see it from a few miles off before you actually arrive in it. And the little village is, it's quaint, It's just a quiet little rural place. Doesn't seem like much is going on out here. Seems peaceful.
Sleepy.
Isn't it really
Seems
sad that we're robbing? Like, if we rob the taxes, right? It's not going to really affect the Lord too much. He might be annoyed, but he's just going to get it from the peasantry, right? So they're going to lose money and they're going to have to work harder, right?
Can you charge taxes twice if you lose them? I don't know if you can.
Well, what you can do is pretty broad. What is a good idea is maybe a little bit more narrow. You can do whatever you want. If he cares more about himself than his people, he might just take the money from them. He might blame them for letting you guys rob his keep. Or maybe he's a chill dude and he's like, oh, well, I took, this is my hit. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. Well, I won't worry about that because I'm probably a hero.
How big does the wall on the Motte and Bailey look?
The palisade wall is about 15, 20 feet tall.
Oh, it's
kind of hard to tell. Yeah, and it's wooden with spiky points and probably like a little walkway on the inside that could be watched. And there's cleared area around it, so like when you're on it, you can see down the hill to the area around it. It makes it very obvious if you're going to approach it. The village itself is a quarter mile off from the Little Mountain Bailey with a trail, almost quite a road going up to it.
Our climbing ability is such that a 15-foot wooden palisade would be relatively straightforwardly climbable or not.
A palisade wall imposes a -10 on your climbing check. They're a little bit easier if you have like hooks or specialized climbing equipment because it's wood and it's kind of soft.
11.
The rope and wall does add 11. Actually, and that
Maybe
would
a
replace the
+1, right?
palisade. It would cancel out the palisade altogether.
Got it. So if you're climbing a palisade wall, it's literally like, I'm just fucking climbing the wall.
Yeah.
But if you have a rope and wall, then, you know, you get the +11.
Right.
So, and actually, you said it's spiked, so it'd be quite easy to hook a rope over the spike.
It would be pretty easy to hook a rope over the spike. It would also be pretty obvious if you did that.
Not at night, perhaps.
Yes. At night, if they're not suspecting you, it's a lot of wall to patrol. On the other hand, there's a very clear and open view for a while. So even approaching it, like if someone's patrolling the wall, they might see you coming from a long way. If you've got 4 people, you know, if you do the 4 corners, it's not a square thing. But if you were to do 4 opposite sides, you'd have complete 360-degree view, and you'd see someone coming even at
Brain
night.
blast.
How would
We
you
pay
see them at
someone,
night?
Nick. Well, Nick, I got a brain blast here. Let me just throw it
Yeah,
out
okay,
there.
yeah.
We pay someone to start a fire. I'm sure there's like a fucking bell that's going to get rang, and then people's attention are going to be taken towards that. And what we do is we're on the opposite side, and once we hear that bell going, that's when we start going up and climbing. The city's going to be on alert, but they're going to be going and dealing with the fire that's happening. So the guards' attentions are going to be over there. We're going to be able to climb up from the back and get in.
What do we burn down though? Somebody's not going to burn down their own village.
No, but like there's probably like a house or something. There's probably someone in here who wants to make a few hundred gold to burn something down to create a distraction. We could even just have Angelica cause a fire on accident.
Yeah.
Fires are pretty damaging. There's no such thing as a fire department. There's not really much way to fight a fire. If a house goes up, you could accidentally burn down the entire village. That is one of those things that becomes very, like if you have someone who doesn't give a shit and is down to burn down the village, no problem. But you'll never get a local to start a fire unless they're already an arsonist.
Sure, yeah. It would have to be like us convincing Angelica to do it.
Yes.
And then her being young and naive enough, not knowing that this can literally burn down an entire village if not properly controlled.
And then I will make a percentile roll, and if it doesn't go well, the whole so a section or all the village will burn down. Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't do this.
I know.
I just
This
want to
is
give
just
some
an option,
context. Yeah.
This is the first thing that came to mind of like, oh, here's how you get the whole town's attention on something.
It will get the whole town's attention.
It will.
Yes.
You got
Well,
any
let's
better
go
ideas
into the village for now. I don't know, like maybe there's another way in. Like maybe we could pretend to be a service provider of some sort.
there? You could probably
Or
get in being
deliver.
gem salesmen.
Yeah. Well, because the Lord's not there though, so
Mm.
they're not gonna let in a gem salesman, are they?
Well, you
but
can come
we could
into
pretend
the.
to be a farmer selling crops or
We don't
something,
have
right?
crops to sell, but let's go in. I agree.
Yeah. You come into the village. There is a singular inn here. It's a detached, the tavern's somewhere else. This is just a small little tiny inn for visitors, for merchants and traders. It's the sort of place where there's maybe like a common room that most people would sleep in. And then they have like maybe 1 or 2 bedrooms that for, fancier, nicer people. Real small, cute, quaint little place, single story, thatched roof, plastered adobe walls, essentially. The village itself, you're looking around, maybe 1,000, 1,500 people live here. There's a little tiny market with some stalls with little tents over it. There's no wall around the village, but there is a little moat. Like it's 10 feet wide, 5 feet deep, and a creek has been diverted to run through it. So the water is, I don't know, knee-high, hip-high, something like that, and it just very gently flows through it. There's lots of little bridges that span the distance, but the bridges are also not sturdy. Like, They clearly look like you lay them down in the day and then you just like pull them back on the inside at night. This doesn't make it impossible to get in. Like if you're not afraid of a little water and you don't mind climbing and getting yourself wet, like you could probably cross this tiny moat without too much issue, but you couldn't bring in a wagon, you couldn't bring in horses, and it would impede your escape. But yeah, that runs around the entire village and the Motte and Bailey. It's a really big sort of little ditch.
The idea that undead can't cross water is not known to me.
I think that's one of those rumors out there. It's more about vampires aren't supposed to be able to cross rivers and running water. But a lot of these concepts are maybe like that might apply to undead. If you're having the thought that this might be an undead
I think that's
protection,
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a Dracissian lord, correct?
No, Eridonian lord, probably. Maybe. You don't know.
We'll ask around.
They didn't replace all the lords, right?
Here is
Definitely
what comes
not.
to mind, though, Nick. If it is a Dracissian lord, which would be fortuitous for us, if there's a Eridonian who works there, we might be able to pay them off and be like, they're literally stealing money from you. How about we give you a cut? If you let us in on your wall duty and look over it.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But it's risky, though, because if it goes wrong, then you're done.
Yeah, but if, we'd be able to scope it out. If he's not feeling it, you either you probably just kill him, honestly. Sorry, but yeah. Because you can't have it be found out. Because if people know that we're out here trying to kill it, like get a noble, they're going to find us. That's an idea that comes to mind, too. We can go to the bar and...
I think a distraction is a good idea. I don't think we're going to get a fire in the village started. I think
Angelica would do it.
Do you? I think it's a bit destructive.
I think it's a bit destructive, but that is a surefire way to get a distraction going. How else do you get an entire village occupied? Is there a holiday coming up,
It's not
Koibu?
the whole village, is it? It's just the 4 guards on the wall, or... Well, there might not even be 4 guards. There might be 1 guard, in which case...
Yeah.
There is a holiday coming up. Today is the 16th. On the 20th is the Day of the Grateful Dead. It is the night. Let me look up my history lesson here.
Do we feel like that's the night of the ball as well?
I need to double check my notes.
Yeah.
It's taking me a
Probably
moment to find
is,
it.
right?
That's what I would assume.
Here we go. Life is short and precious, so we must appreciate it while we have it. This day is when the natural cycles and the ebb and flow between worlds brings them closest together. Moon cycles also affect this ebb and flow. Many people make offerings to important dead ancestors or make attempts to appease restless spirits. This is a day to appreciate your life and appreciate the lives of those who you are indebted to. So this is, it could be the ball, because it's about like sort of celebrating how great life is. And
ball.
Could be, very much could be. That's coming up on the 20th day, the Grateful Dead. Tonight is the night of the 16th.
How's the moon?
The full moon was yesterday. So this will be like a half moon, roughly half moon.
And the
This is
20th, we feel like will be what type of moon?
It'll be about a half moon by the 20th.
Okay.
Not quite. Just a little bit more. This is a holiday that really speaks to Tempos, Felumbra, Voraci, and Malchus. It's their holiday.
Do you guys? I'll ask the barkeep. Do you guys do anything big for the upcoming holiday?
Oh, of course. We've got a little celebration planned, says the barkeep.
Oh, that's
tavern.
awesome.
Yes. We'll have some paper lanterns. We'll have some music, a couple of drinks here and there. There'll be flower wreaths, barley wreaths that everyone gets to wear. Not wreaths. What do you call them? Halos, little barley halos for everyone. And of course, in the evening, appropriate toasts to the ancestors.
Whole
Well,
town's gonna be involved, I bet.
Of course. You're welcome to join. Your people aren't entombed anywhere near here, but we have a small well where you can make offerings to the ancestors who are far away.
That's awesome.
That sounds lovely. Yeah.
Sounds lovely. We might stick around.
What brings you to Barton?
We were just passing through, honestly.
Oh, where's your final destination?
It's gonna be Fortune.
Maybe. I've heard that Fortune's a bit grim. Maybe we might move on. Plainsview or maybe Redport? I don't know. I've never been there, but I've heard that it's exciting.
Not a lot of people just traveling through this part of the world. You must have an interesting story. Why don't you have a sit down and your first pint's on me? I'd love to hear what brings you to this area.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
a
you-
seat down at the bar.
Pours you both pours all three of you a pint, hands them over. We don't get a ton of explorers or visitors over here, but I think there's a lot of promise for the new world. The new count has done great, by me at least. Things are going well. Life is a little bit
Bartley,
easier.
Is he Drakissian too?
No, Lord Barley's old Eridonian family.
Oh, that's good. I like it. I wish
is
we
he
could
gonna
bring
be
back
here?
old Eridon.
Does he celebrate with you?
No, of course not. They have their own celebrations.
Well, you want to know about our story. It's a long one. I don't know if you recognize our accent, but we're from
Southerners.
Stromheim.
Yeah.
Yeah, we born and raised Stromheim in the slums, I'm afraid. It's well, it's not too far by horse, but it's might as well be a world away from here. Looking around
But I
at the-
bet you see all sorts of fancy ladies and elegant gentlemen in their suits of armor and high fashion, even from the slums.
Every now and again, you might see some guards and wearing armor walking through the city, or see a carriage coming through from the outside. But all the rich folk, they live in the center of town. But I'll say one thing for Stromheim though: it's a dangerous place, and you can lose your head if you don't pay attention. But there's opportunity there for right-minded folk willing to put a bit of effort in. You can make some gold. You can better yourself, and sadly, it doesn't matter how rich I get, they'll never let me in the inner city. But there's a better life waiting for someone with coin out here in the open fields, and me and my nephew here, I just want something better for him. I don't want him to live his whole life in that city. And I thought, why not take some of that gold and try and find somewhere else better to lay some roots down.
That is so funny. I have almost the exact opposite story with my son. I sent him off to Stromheim to make his fortune, because we thought there was more opportunity and wealth to be done there. And here you are, coming from Stromheim, seeking your own different sort of opportunity.
We might know him.
Yeah, we might know him. What's his name?
His name? The DM introducing a character, not realizing he had to name it.
You should have expected this, Neil.
He should have expected this. My son, Plank.
I think I met a Plank at a bar once.
Really? Red
Yeah,
hair?
he's doing good. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the hair. Yeah.
Surely. I mean, don't 5 million people live in Stromheim?
No, not even close.
No, not since, city's fallen on hard times.
Ah,
Last
wow.
few years.
Yes.
Plank's doing well. I saw he's got a lady, They're hanging out.
No, surely you couldn't have met him.
I'm not kidding, I swear.
No, stop pulling his leg.
He
I'm
looks
not
at you
pulling his leg.
skeptically.
We might have seen him, but there might be more than one person called Plank. We don't know. It's
That- I mean,
necessary.
It's a
that's
common name out here.
Well, it's
He
not
had
common
hair.
in Stromheim, but yeah.
That's true. He did have hair.
Did have red hair, but All right, well, I'm sure he writes back.
Well, anyway, I take my free pint and I say, to Plank.
To
new
Plank.
opportunities.
Opportunity.
Plank? Yeah.
He'll take a drink with you. So what sort of opportunities are you seeking? If you don't mind
Well,
my
I'm-
asking.
No. Well, like I said, we've earned some coin. And I'm just looking for somewhere where we can maybe buy a nice house, some land, live in peace, away from all the poverty and the battling and the thieves and the danger. Just somewhere safe, somewhere where an honest man can make an honest living.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I hear there's a lot of land open for sale and open for people looking for work. far to the south, below what's it called? Below Thornwood, in the Tether Wilds and Ashlands.
All right, we'll have to check that out.
The Ashlands, isn't that a desert? And what if there's still more of those things down there?
He nods. Yeah. It could be a dangerous place. I mean, that's why there's open land, right?
Yeah. It's dangerous. I've had enough feel of danger back in Stromheim. I mean, we didn't see whatever that was. But you heard about the siege, though. And calling it a siege is not doing it justice. It was, well, it'd make any right-minded folk want to leave.
Well,
The dead outside the walls of the city.
Ew.
Sometimes within the walls of the city.
Ugh.
We still run into them every now and again.
By the gods, no wonder you want to leave. Well, if you're looking for safety and peace and quiet, you've come to the right place. Barton is a lovely little village. The surrounding lands are as gentle and peaceful as I suppose any in this world. Not that means a lot.
Are there any houses for sale here? Any abandoned places that we could take root in?
There's some houses in the village proper. You'd have to wait until the Lord comes back in order to purchase them. He owns all the property, and
When's he coming back?
Where is he?
I think he went off to Fortune. I'm not 100% certain, but we all saw his carriage. I'm sorry, his what do you call it when you've got like a procession of people? It's like a line of folks riding out together.
Procession.
We saw his procession.
Yeah.
Caravan. The word that means his entourage. We saw his entourage leave 4 days ago.
Is
he
he
a
all
good
right?
lord, or?
Well, how is he with the Drakissian?
Fairly good. He bent the knee, said the words, and
Cringe.
you know, Lord Marshal, Count Marshal has been. He's been a decent man. He hasn't, come and showered me with gold, but there's been peace. It's been quiet and a free flow of goods. Had a couple more people come through.
So, I mean, you know better than me, but I heard that he burnt the corpse of the previous lord on the walls of
Yeah.
the city.
That's what they say. Was it on the walls? I heard that it was on the mesa within Fortune. There's a big pyre, and he and his son and his concubines were all tossed on board, and they were all burnt alive.
Seems a bit much. Is that standard practice back in Drakus?
Well, Drakus is all woods and dark forests. I think the burning things is probably more of a... You have so much wood lying around. You must burn things all the time. Probably not a lot of good, tomb space or whatnot.
I guess. Yeah,
I don't-
Maybe it's just their way of doing things. Seems a bit disrespectful, I thought the nobility had a bit of a code.
Perhaps, but... Well... It was dark times for a while. Sometimes, sad and harsh as it may be, you have to burn away the old world to make room for a new one, and...
A clean slate.
Do a clean slate.
Yeah.
Yes,
Count Vicious was a decent enough man. He always seemed pretty solid and trustworthy and honorable, but during his reign, times were hard. I don't think it was his fault, but times were hard. And these fires seem to have burned away the old and made way for the new, and times are a little easier now. Can't say it's Lord Marshal's fault, but hey, when times are good, you praise your lords, and when times are bad, you curse your lords. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah. I'm not quite at the position where I'm going to raise a glass to Drakus, but at least things are better.
Well, the nobility's always intermarrying with each other. I don't see it so much as Drakissian rules, more as Eridon has adopted a new son.
Are there any Drakissian lords nearby?
He thinks to himself. There is, yes. 2 villages, well, two castles south of here. There's a lady, a Lady Pine. And I think you can already tell the sorts of jokes people make about Lady Pine. But she hails from Drakus, has taken over some of these lands. I think she is a distant cousin of Lord Marshall, perhaps? Count Marshall, I'm sorry. She's got a small estate down there, kind of keeping the southern section in tow. Some decent farmland, couple of
What
decent
happened to the
smiths.
real lord?
Well, and leans in. Not everyone is excited to see a foreigner rule the area. Some people decided to resist in spirit or in flesh. Former man, Lord Anderson, he sided with Count Vicious, and this Count Marshall fellow, before he was Count, when he was just a Sir, a Kel Marshall, struck him down for not accepting the new way.
Oh,
Stripped his family of titles. I think that his family left and now lives with friends in High Castle or something. But all his property was stripped and given to Lady Pine.
Was there a battle?
There were actually many little battles. Battle's a strong word. They were very one-sided. Kel Marshall shows up, by himself. There's 30 men standing against him, and he whips out a flaming sword and hacks them to. I mean, that's what they say. I didn't see it myself.
Flaming sword my ass.
Come on now.
He dragged his one stone foot through the earth and hacked them down with a burning sword, and then gave his lands to his cousin. But that's what happens when you stand up to your betters. It's what happens in war all the time.
What about
I bet his cousin's filthy fucking rich.
Yeah.
That Drakissian, they killed a dragon and they bringing all their money to our lands. I fucking hate them.
Well, you might think that those people were rich, but they don't show it. They certainly don't go around buying up all the goods that you might hope if they were rich. That Empress, though, whoo! And that what's his name? The spooky man that took over Mystria, King McGarry. Ugh.
I shrug. Which one's that?
Oh, he's the bastard son of the queen of the Empress or something like that.
Oh, he's the one that killed the dragon.
Yes.
I heard about him.
A spooky wizard who does magic and flies around.
They should send that Lord Marshall guy to go and deal with him.
Well,
all right.
I don't want to bring war back to this area, but
what about the village though? Did the people get in trouble for resisting?
Oh, south, Lord Anderson's village? No. The people are, as I said, Count Marshall's a good man. He dealt with the people who fought him. I said 30 men, but really, all you have to do is strike down 2 with a flaming sword before everyone else gives up right away.
That's a change of heart.
Of course, yeah. Then Lord Anderson lost his head, and everyone else was,
Did they at least give him a proper burial?
Oh, I hope they didn't put him on the pyre with Vicious.
No, I didn't hear, but I think if you hit someone with a burning sword, don't they burn?
Oh,
I don't know. How do magic flaming swords work? Do they set you on fire, or are they just on fire? I can put my hand through a candle without too much problem, but I couldn't step into a furnace, so I don't really know how the magic swords work.
I heard there was a guy. He was a bit of a gang leader in Stromheim when I was a kid growing up. And they said that this guy fought with a flaming sword. He's dead now. He's been dead for a while. But turns out that he was just covering it in oil before the fight and lighting it on fire. And it would go out, after a few minutes.
cheap parlor
That's probably-
tricks.
Well, that's probably what this Lord Barton, it's shock and awe, right? He's just trying to shock the people.
I mean, he does have a leg of stone. Everyone says it. Stone leg that he has to drag around with him everywhere he
Stone
goes.
leg? Just
Stone?
the one?
Just the one?
That seems awfully inconvenient.
All right. Well, thank you, barkeep.
Of course.
It's been a good chat, though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good chat.
Yeah, well, if you're looking for land, stick around for a few days. There's an inn down the street, and when Lord Barley returns, the Barley Lord, technically, we will, I'm sure he'd be happy to rent you or sell you some land or buildings.
Right.
Well, you know what? Given how nice the company is here, I'll give it some serious thought.
Oh, you flatter me, sir. You flatter me. Can I get you a second round of drinks? This
Of
one's not
course.
on the house, though.
Help us up.
Of course,
Excellent.
we'll be here all night.
All right. He gets you beverages. You can rest.
Yeah, we tip this guy well.
We tip him.
Yeah.
I'll whisper over to Luther.
Hey, you want to blow this popsicle stick and go get the real cash?
Well, and head
kissing.
down to Lord Anderson's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I bet
could
there's
do.
someone still loyal. Someone still who feels, a way. Maybe an old knight.
I think we should go. We should check it out. I think if we don't have a good inn, we shouldn't do it.
We should do
This
it
is-
before the 20th too.
This is dangerous. With these castles here, there's still the
I agree.
option to go back to Copperhill and get
Yeah.
Angus's family.
Yeah. Let's go check this place out and worst case
Yeah.
Copperhill.
All right. Well, let's not rush off too soon.
We'll
Might as
go
well
tomorrow
finish.
morning, first light.
Yeah. Well, maybe not exactly first light, but but I
All
think we think we drink the night away here with
Mhm.
Angelica as well. I assume she's here too.
She's here. She's chilling
Does she
quietly.
does she partake in the binge drinking?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and she gets fucking plastered really early on, pukes her guts out outside,
I
thankfully.
think that's a second.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're that young, you can do a lot of things. But she is small and does not hold a lot in her before she's done.
I think I end the night carrying Angelica over my shoulder back to the inn. Yeah, because she's like tiny and I'm obviously
yeah.
big and strong, so
Mhm.
it's like literally nothing. I mean, I've still probably got like my pint in my other hand, and
Right.
there on my right shoulder as I'm like walking down the street to the inn. I give
Perfect.
the barkeep a bit of coin for the cup. Like I ask for one for the road, and I pay him and I say I'm
Yeah.
going to stay at the inn so you can go back and get it from there.
Yeah, and the drinks here are like half the price of what they are in Stromheim. It's
Oh,
way cheaper out here.
Can we do one more 2-minute break while I run upstairs and get food?
Yeah, actually, I'm almost at the point where I need to end for the day.
Okay. I'm good to end.
Yeah,
here
let's
then.
call it here. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to end here. You're in Barton. You're going to be headed down to the former Lord Anderson estate / village, which is currently occupied by a Lady Pine.
Yeah.
And
Big
back
five
a few villages ago, actually on the other side of Plainsview, the Golden Sea practically, are your bodyguards
Yeah.
who are waiting for you. They're going to wait there
Even
for a
2 minutes, I
while.
think, Yeah.
We might be in a position where we could send a message to them and tell them to meet us, at where we are. But for
Absolutely.
now, it's fine.
Yeah.
No,
We'll
it's
wait.
fine.
It's fine.
Okay. Great. Well, then next time on Hardly Heroes, we're going to see the party head south to find Lady Pine because fuck those Drakissian scum who have taken over our country. Let's steal the shit from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Catch you later.
Bye.
All right.